and welcome to another episode of Power On Podcast. I am your loopy host, Taylor, and I'm joined, of course, with co-host Sushi. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What's going on?
I'm okay. Not really. My ankle, well, it doesn't really hurt, but as you don't know, I busted my ankle to where I sprained it really, really bad. So I'm taking drugs and trying to not use my leg very much.
You're all sauced up and loopy right now.
Yeah. So, but we are joined with a most rocking dude of dudes as our guest today, and that is, drumroll, Crow. Welcome.
Dudes!
What's going on?
Yeah.
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
And, how about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm thrilled to be joining Sushi and now appropriately named Gimpy.
Probably.
No, I really am sorry to hear about that, man. That's a real bummer. I'm not exactly cautious with my body, especially when it comes to I'm a teacher myself, so there have been times where my students have been like, "Hey, dude, let's do this," like stupid activity that only kids do, and then you know, 30 minutes later in the ambulance, I'm not doing so well, so I feel your pain.
So, that's, the students probably think, oh, that's so cool, you know, still trying to do stuff with them and all that. I mean, I did mine playing soccer, so it wasn't like I was doing anything rad, like jumping on ramps with skateboards on fire or something like that, so.
Freestyle walking is what we call it. It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous stuff.
So, did you want to, kind of introduce yourself there, Crow? I mean, odds are probably people that are listening to this know who you are, but maybe just in case.
Yeah, sure. I don't even know. Sorry.
Spots.
Okay, well, basically, I got a YouTube show. It's you know, it's just a little thing I started doing about a year ago. I quit drinking about a year ago, and I needed something to occupy a little bit more of my time and take my mind off the fact that I, you know, obviously was doing more constructive things with my time and not wasting it away and stuff like that. But the Roadshow just kind of popped out of that. It was more of like I know you guys have probably watched like the TV shows in the 90s and stuff like that, like, you know, just the rad shows with the rad dudes telling you about all the rad things, and
Right.
that's kind of where I take my inspiration from, because, you know, I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, so a lot of my influence was from, you know, early 90s TV and stuff like that, and it kind of shaped my personality, and, you know, I just never really let go of that. It was always kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like a mystique, especially growing up in the middle of nowhere. You know, you see all these rad dudes and dudettes doing all this crazy stuff, and, you know, it's just left an impression on me. It was always kind of a dream, like, I want to do that someday. And, just, you know, one day I was watching YouTube and just thinking to myself, like, well, these people are already doing that. Like, they're making their own shows, so why don't I do it? And, yeah, that's pretty much, where Retro Roadshow came from, and that's my channel on YouTube. It's, yeah, it's just a dude in front of a camera pretty much going on a trip through space and time, and, you know, just picking up, you know, rad games, rad toys, crazy technology, hacking it into something useful now, or, you know, at least something cool now, or an interesting conversation piece. Yeah, it's just kind of just a mashup of a lot of this, you know, my favorite stuff, and just so happens to be a lot of other people's favorite stuff too, which is totally rad. And yeah, I do my thing in front of the camera, and I guess people will have a really good time watching it, so that's awesome, 'cause I don't know what I'm doing. In all honesty, I'm starting to learn, you know, like I kind of took a little bit of a hiatus over the summer and did a lot of picking, and which is, you know, like going out and digging through like junk piles and garage sales and stuff like that, finding games and retro stuff. And while I was doing that, I kind of just was watching a lot of, you know, like DIY film stuff on YouTube, like Film Riot and Indie Mogul and those guys. You know, just learning how to use the stuff that I was using, like a camera, and you know, just figuring out how to make a better show. So a lot of the time recently has been spent in pre-production for what I have been referring to as the big upgrade. You know, right now it's just kind of like a guy in his room with a camera, and in the future it's going to be a guy in a room with a camera, but probably with a little bit more production value and, you know, some story plots and stuff like that. I've kind of taken some inspiration from, you know, like Captain N, the Game Master, and Power Rangers, and just, you know, Beakman's World, some old crazy Saturday morning, you know, maybe not cartoons, but just Saturday morning series, and just kind of smashed them all into my version of what I thought would be a good show. And hopefully that's going to go good. You know, the big upgrade hasn't come yet, but that's all got to do with like some story arc and stuff like that that's still coming out. So if anybody wonders why it's so much time between an episode, it's because I literally have no clue what I'm doing. And a lot of this stuff is just way too ambitious for, you know, a guy with absolutely no knowledge of video recording software, editing software. I'm getting there, but yeah, it's a pretty wild undertaking. But, you know, a lot of people seem to have a good time watching the whole process too, watching me go from crap show to not so crap show to maybe doesn't smell quite like crap, maybe smells a little like flower show, you know. But yeah, it's a good time, man. Come on over if you want a good time. That's all we're having over there. It's just it's low definition entertainment for people who, you know, just want to remember how to have fun. That's pretty much it.
That's definitely the vibe I get from it.
Yeah, like I always, whenever I watch the show, I always get this, even though, you know, I don't have a mirror, I get this stupid grin on my face. Like like when the intro plays and it's that remix of The Moon from DuckTales, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, like, yes! And it's just like, I'm like, well, I don't even know, it just kinda, it's like something that happens naturally, which might sound really dumb, but I guess the childlike enthusiasm when I see your show and when like a new episode comes up and stuff, it's always great. And I really like your do-it-yourself segments because they're easy to do and you can do them yourself. So.
Yeah, I try to do stuff that you can accomplish. You know, usually like I'll be watching YouTube and you see something like any DIY show like Household Hacker or, you know, even guys like Film Riot where they teach you how to make like your own camera jibs and stuff like that. You know, you see something, and I'm one of those guys, or even when I was a kid, like I went to the theater, we saw Ghostbusters. First thing I did when I got home is I found a backpack. You know, I took an old a vacuum cleaner tube, stuffed it inside it. You know, like I see something and then I try to, you know, I try to do it, or I try to make it a part of. I try to further the experience. I'm a real, like, immersive type of person. So, you know, I like to at least put something in an episode, at least, you know, every once in a while. I can't do it every single episode, but, you know, do something where it's like, hey, are you feeling the vibe? You feeling the radness here? Well, here's something you can do right now in the comfort of your own home. It probably won't cost you more than a couple dollars and maybe a few slivers and a cut or two.
A lost finger, an eye missing.
Yeah. Like, I do have plans, like, there's some more in-depth builds that you probably won't be able to do in, like, you know, an hour or two. Like, I said it on the All Gen Gamers, and I'm sticking to it, too. People who watch my show, most likely in Season 2 or at the very end of Season 1, I haven't decided yet, but you will learn how to make your own lightsaber. And not just like a little handle that you can, you know, bring around to like Comic Cons and stuff like that. I mean, a fully displayable thing that you can swing around, you can cosplay or whatever you want with it, you can put it on display, and it's like looking into the goddamn sun, man. I'm sorry, if you guys are like PG, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
But, there's a few stages or whatever, but, I'm gonna show people how to make, you know, about a $20 one, and, it shouldn't be too difficult. The ones that I usually make have a Class 3 laser in them, so it literally is like if you look into it, you can hurt your eyes, but they're bright, man. They look like movie reel. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, that should be exciting.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's such a cool build. Like, I didn't want to do it right off the bat, because that's like, I've got like 2 or 3, you know, real good, I guess I would call it like aces, you know, in my hand or whatever, and I don't want to bust them out too early, or at least until I can kind of come up with, you know, some more ace ideas, I guess.
Right, you don't want to blow your load right at the beginning.
Yeah. Premature, rad. Yes.
Yeah.
Premature radulation or something?
Yeah, premature radulation.
So, yeah, down the tube. Potty humor, ha 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 ha. So, well, yeah, I definitely cannot recommend you enough. I really enjoy watching your videos, Crow, and I really hope that if people haven't and are listening to this, definitely check out his stuff, because it's fantastic. So,
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate that. It's awesome.
I'm in withdrawal. I watched pretty much every episode in one day after Taylor mentioned to me, and I was like, oh, where's the rest of it? I was looking for more, and I got it. I was surprised when I saw that it was up to episode 6 recently, and I thought, okay, there's more, right? And I was looking for it, and I was like, oh man, like, where's the rest?
Don't you hate that you find a series that you like on the tube and you're just watching it. It's like, all right, cool, done with episode 18, episode 19. Episode 19.
Gotta rewatch episode 18.
Where the hell is episode 19? When you look down in the comments and there's like 2 months worth of posts, it says, where the hell is episode 19? Yeah, I'm working on it though. Like, I would like to do things more regular, but I'm really busy on the side too. I'm a professional musician. I've got 2 bands that I play and record with. I do video game music too, or I've been trying to get back into video game music. I've done it in the past, but yeah, I'm trying to get back into that and write some stuff for that. Plus I teach music to kids, so it's really rough finding the time to actually go intensive with this, and I'm a single man production team. So it's very rarely I'll have like my wife help with camera work or something, but other than that, it's all me. So I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to streamline a better version of the show so that I can, pull it off at the very least monthly. I would like to do every 2 weeks, and it'd be awesome if I could do every Saturday morning, but like I did that in the beginning with the first 4 episodes, and I've never lost more sleep in my life, dude. Like, seriously, that almost killed me. Like, not knowing anything about video and trying to do a weekly show, like, straight out of the stall or whatever is stupid.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a dumb idea. I mean, not to discourage anyone. You should definitely, check stuff like that out. But, just, in hindsight, like I said, I damn near killed myself trying to pull those all out, or try to pull those off, week after week. So I had to take a step back and reevaluate how I was going to do this, because this show wouldn't have lasted much longer than 6 months at that rate.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on today with what little time you have. So.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
I'm stoked to be here. Like I said, I lost sleep last night over it. I was like, oh man.
That's all good. I slept like a baby last night, so. So, I slept for you, Crow.
Yeah. I also broke your ankle, so.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of go off of that, the topic that we kind of have today is a little bit of a kind of a different route, I guess. Maybe a lot of people don't seem to want to talk about the subject so much, and that is the things that we either games or things in games that we really don't like.
Yeah, I'm expecting some hate mail on this one.
I'm scared, man. I'm scared.
So
hopefully not too much, but I'm sure we'll get some pretty raw comments coming in.
So I don't know. I think it's good to kind of point out things that don't really like, just because, it's always good to be like, oh, I like this, and then so you get to see one side or some people that they might like. But if you also kind of detail things that you don't like, it kind of helps see the other side of it, and so people can get a more round view of like why you kind of think the way you might think about games, I guess.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think so.
So I know I probably just tried to fluff that out more than it actually is. So,
Well, I was gonna say, I think everybody's got things they don't like. There's, I tend to be one of those guys where, like, especially like during the 90s, man, I missed out on a lot of good stuff because I was too anti-trendy. People would get into something, and I'd be like, oh, everybody's doing that. I'm gonna do the exact opposite.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I'm still like that.
I try not to be, but, cause, when I look back on it, even now, cause, been doing music for a while. I spent, a good 7 years pretty much on tour and stuff. So there was a time where I didn't game as much. It kind of took a side, or a back seat rather. And, I missed out on a lot of stuff, and now I'm just trying to keep my mind open and stuff like that so I can kind of go back and appreciate a lot of the stuff that I have missed out, because there's so many games, like, and there's a lot of people who are like, oh, how do you know so much about games? Dude, I don't know anything about games compared to some of the people on YouTube. I mean, there's games out there that I hear about for the first time. It's like, how did I never know about that game? And I feel like such an idiot for it. But, it's partially, growing up in the middle of nowhere and only having GamePro as your only gaming magazine and source for information. And partially just kind of, you get older, and during a certain point in everybody's life, whether you're a hardcore gamer or a casual gamer, I'm sure you fall out of it. It's, you do anything enough, and I think you'll question why you do it and probably do something else for a little while just to see what it's like. It's what people do. But, yeah, it's, I try not to hate games, so I try to appreciate them and try to be really zen about it. But man, there are some things that just, it's like, why would you do that? They're just sitting there laughing.
Why?
It's like, and then they're gonna try and jump over the hole. But guess, we're gonna put someone right there to knock them back into the hole.
It's awesome.
Might have touched a vein on that.
Oh, maybe.
This is bullshit.
Making my hairline recede.
Yeah.
Well, how about with that, we actually jump into it then?
Yeah. Crow, since you're the guest, would you like to kind of start us off, or?
Sure. Let's think here. You know what? I'll say one. I used to hate this when I had it as a kid. It was one of the few games that I did have, and I got it because of an episode of Captain N the Game Master, which, go figure, like the biggest freaking Nintendo commercial ever to air on television.
Right.
Half hour a week, for what, 2 or 3 seasons? I don't even know how long it went, but it would have to be Bayou Billy.
Oh, I love that game.
I love it now, man. I'll say I love it now. It's such an awesome game. But when I was a kid, I used to fucking cry. I would scream at my TV like it was a person, like it knew my pain, and it could somehow understand the torment that it was putting me through.
That was a hard game.
Oh, man. And then it took me so long to figure out the light gun section. Because, I would have the controller plugged in, so it's, I'm playing the game, and I beat I think it's the first 2 levels, the first level or first 2 levels or something like that, and then you go to, like, the light gun section, I think. Yeah, because I could never get to the driving section. But yeah, I never would have the zapper plugged in. And for the longest time, I would try and unplug my controller and plug the zapper in.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you had to do it that quick, and it would never work, so I'd just be screaming and crying. It was so, I would get so upset, man, and I played the game, every day, too, and every day it was just, I tortured myself on it.
Yeah, I remember there was, a Type A and Type B gameplay or something. That's what it changed between the controller and the zapper, is that right?
Well, there was,
the option screen or something?
Yeah, there was an A game and a B game, and I haven't played it for a bit. It was either one of those was kind of like a demo mode that would let you it would take you through the levels or something like that. I believe there was some sort of level select on there.
Yeah, I think so.
It was either that or the B game was something harder or the levels were rearranged or something.
I thought the B game just allowed you to use the controller and the zapper, and the A game was just the controller, I thought.
Maybe.
That's how I remember playing the light gun games with just the controller before.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe, because it was so hard with the controller, I think. That's maybe why I was trying to pull the controller out and stick the zapper in. God, it's been a while, definitely. I mean, I have the game sitting behind me, but, and I bought it probably about 6 months ago, and I have not put it in yet, just because it's
Because you don't want to hear that, the adventures of Bayou Billy. You're just going to throw it right out the window.
So awesome.
Oh, it's an awesome
they have
game.
Voices in the game. Oh my god.
And there's only 2. There's that and then that ha 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 ha. That's the only voices in the entire game. Oh, and the when you die. Oh, but you're not joking. Those driving stages, I remember it took me a good few months to just get to the first one as a kid. And then I think I beat it, and the first one was hard enough. And then suddenly you had to do, right after that, the next driving stage, which was twice as long. And it was so frustrating.
I think I remember that too. There's gotta be, I remember a lot of the game, and there's gotta be something like, I must have made it farther, because like as you're talking about it, I'm having flashbacks now.
Like non-flashbacks almost.
Yeah, man.
Bad memories.
Put the zapper in! Put the zapper in!
Hurry up!
Like I used to borrow the game from the library, because my library had a bunch of Nintendo games.
That's like the best library ever.
Yeah. So I remember the first time I borrowed that game, and I couldn't get past that light gun part at all. I was like 6 or 7 at the time, and it was like so angry, so bitterly angry that I actually spent the time to borrow this game as opposed to something else, because they had some pretty good ones there. They had Little Nemo, Marble Madness. I like Marble Madness.
I hate Marble Madness.
What's the Rad Racer?
Okay.
Final Fantasy, even though I own Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy, and a few other really good games like Fire and Ice. I know, Sushi, you and that. Fire and Ice.
Good old Fire and Ice.
Pro, do you know Fire and Ice?
No, I don't actually.
It's a fat guy tag team wrestling.
No, it's you stop that. It's like the sequel to Solomon's Key, kind of, and nobody seems to know it. So
I've heard it. Maybe I've heard it. Like I've probably heard you guys referencing it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So so that they had just a few other games, ice hockey, and I had been going down the line and I got to Bayou Billy, and I was like, oh, let's try this one, the new one and everything. Borrowed it out and everything, brought it home, and I started playing it, and I quit. Because I was like, fuck this. I'm like 7 years old, and I'm just I was probably screaming and yelling at the TV screen too, because that's what I like to do as a kid. And, I put it down.
Were you a controller thrower?
Not so much. My dad used to be. My dad was pretty bad about that, and I learned not to do that, because that could, totally, break the controller or something.
Yeah. You wouldn't get another one, so.
Yeah.
Dude, I was merciless, man. I'd grab him by the end of the cord and, whip it around my head like it was, a pair of, bolos or something like that. Just screaming at the screen. I never broke one, surprisingly. But
they're pretty durable.
My brother and I mean, we would, it's funny because most siblings would have a rivalry where, there'd be times where we'd be playing Street Fighter, and he's just spamming the quick punch or whatever, and just being cheap, and you punch your brother just because he's a little bastard. That's what you do. But, more often than not, we would team up against the Nintendo, and it was, we'd be playing, and after 2 hours, we're both screaming at it, and finally it's like, fuck this thing, we're gonna kill it.
Putting ice cream in the cartridge slot and all kinds of.
We used to throw it down the stairs, and then we'd come back a few hours later to see if it still worked, and it did. Plug it back in, it still worked. And we'd fight over it. I remember my mom coming in one time and literally just kicking it, like a field goal kicker. Just came in, punted that thing, and we were, that was it. We thought the Nintendo was dead, but yeah, a few hours later, we waited till she calmed down and snuck back in there, plugged it in, and the damn thing still worked, man. And now you play them too long, and they burn or something.
Breathe on it wrong.
Consoles these days, you can't even trust them. It's like a light breeze comes in and you get a red ring of death.
Yeah. What is that? I mean,
they're so fragile now.
Yeah. That's not... I mean, did they make these things for kids or what?
I don't think so.
I remember my childhood. I remember leaving a path of destruction and glory, in all honesty, man. That's what kids are supposed to do. That's why, back in the 90s, you used to see just these big, giant plastic toys that were so absurd looking, but you couldn't break them. For sure. I mean, that's, I guess you could, but
it took a lot. They didn't break easily.
It did.
Probably break the wall before, break the pieces of floor or something before you break the actual toy.
Probably.
Oh, we used to just torment our toys. That was another thing. I mean, we grew up in the middle of nowhere, so there wasn't really a lot of stuff to do besides, like, get drunk and blow shit up. And I wasn't too much on drinking when I was a kid, so, option B, we spent a lot of time, we'd get a toy or something, and when we were too old for it, it either got sold at a garage sale, or we found some creative way to destroy it, or, use it for some sort of nefarious purpose.
Give it its own funeral pyre.
Like, we used to have, those, I think they're Play School or Fisher Price, those little, like, plastic toy cars that kids can ride in. Like,
the red and yellow one?
Like, you push it around with your feet like a Flintstones car.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing became, like, we would literally, like, fill that thing with pillows, like, stuff somebody in there, fill it with pillows, and, like, drop it off the second floor deck of our house. I mean, it was like a stunt pod, and we never got hurt. And we just did the most ridiculous shit. Like, you take, like, a 13-year-old, like, damn near grown-ass human being and stuff him inside this thing, and we'd push him down a hill. And halfway down the hill, the thing would, it'd be going about 15 miles an hour, and it'd hit a rock.
Man. Where are the YouTube videos of that there, man?
I wish we had done something. We did crazy stuff. We took a lawnmower engine and we stuck it to the side of a bike. And
oh God.
That was probably the most dangerous and scary 35 miles an hour I've ever gone. Yeah. I'm sorry. I told you, man. You got
hey, man, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, man. Something I guess I wanted to bring up. Something that pretty much everybody knows that I absolutely despise. Final Fantasy V. I fucking hate that game.
Yeah, you sure do.
I do not like. Have you played that game, Crow?
No, I have not.
Don't.
I am an Americanized Final Fantasy player, so I'm like the only. My most recent foray into Final Fantasy has been the actual Final Fantasy 3, but I've been playing it on the DS.
Oh, okay.
Which it's okay. It's definitely not my favorite Final Fantasy. For that, I would have to say the American 3 or the Japanese 6 probably holds. Either that or the American 2, because that was a really good game, and that's kind of what got me into Final Fantasy. So.
Okay. Cecil's a bamf. Yeah. But the reason why I hate 5 so much is because, like, I think most of the music, there's a couple good songs. For example, Bot's Home theme, the Battle on the Big Bridge, the third Overworld theme. There's some really, really good tunes, but the most of the soundtrack I don't really like. And there's people, if you read on, like, GameFAQs or, talk to people that have played 5, they're always like, oh my God, 5 is so amazing. It has the most amazing story. It's so fucking great. Oh my God. Even with my Japanese coworkers and some of the teachers and stuff that I talk to that play games, they're always like, oh my God, 5 is so awesome. I'm like, the fuck? The story, like, it's because everybody praises the story, and I think the story is just really not good. X-Death, yeah, that's his name. X-Death, the boss, the dude, he comes from a tree.
Just a regular tree?
Oh, no, an evil tree that's filled with spirits. But he comes from he comes from that.
Okay.
It's just kind of
Does he fall off like an apple?
No. Well, I don't remember, like, where I think he just spawns from the tree. But it's so convoluted. And he looks very much like Golbez. It looks very similar to Golbez. One of the characters that dies in 5 dies very similar to Tella. And it's just kind of like, I think they just said, fuck it, we're getting mad bank, let's just make a Final Fantasy game, and then just throw crap together, thus making 5.
That's kind of what I always, maybe wrongfully assumed, well, maybe not wrongfully assumed, but I always assumed that's why we didn't get all those, all those different, sequels, not sequels, but just the different Final Fantasies over in the US, cause, they probably just weren't, good enough? Maybe not good enough, but you know how, like, the Japanese Mario 2 is just, it's basically Mario 1, but harder?
Right.
Oh, God,
just kind of rehashes
levels.
With just a few minor updates or something?
Yeah, I always just assumed that that's kind of, what it was, and that's the reason why we didn't get them.
Maybe, I don't know why we would get 4 and 6 and not 5. Like, 5's got that really awesome, I would say, the job system, but right. The thing is that when you're going throughout the game, like, all the dungeons and everything, you're fighting, like, the same 2 or 3 monster sets throughout the whole fucking dungeon. And it's like, okay, great, let's be a bunch of ninjas or something and kill the same monsters. Oh, let's change it to a bunch of time wizards and kill the same fucking monsters. And it just drags and drags and drags and drags and drags. It's like, I had to actually play with somebody, playing as player 2, or like trading off, because I played it on PlayStation the first time, and trading off and on for that to like get through the game, because honestly, I could play that game during the daytime and I will fall asleep playing it. It bores me that much. I seriously, I was playing it, like I was playing it
That's
after
impressive.
class, or in college, and my roommate and one of, mutual friends, they came to stop by and see if I wanted to grab lunch or something. And I had fallen asleep, like on a beanbag chair with the controller in hand and in mid-fight. And my friend's like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, I think that's the first time somebody has fallen asleep playing in mid-game, like during the day, like normal kind of sleep, not like staying up all night and then like, I'll play a little kind of thing. So, yeah, Final Fantasy V.
Well, now at least you know you have a way to fall asleep anytime you do.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Normally, if I play video games, it does the exact opposite of me, man. That's part of my insomnia or whatever is due to Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And, dude, I just got a PS3 over the Christmas, over Christmas. I just got a PS3 over Christmas, and holy shit. I've not touched one of these in all honesty. Since they've come out, I have not played a PS3. I've seen them in stores and stuff like that, but I've just kind of kept myself at bay because, I can't have it. I didn't have the money for it. I wasn't going to tease myself with it because then I would end up doing something stupid and buying it anyways.
Right.
And you cannot give a guy like me a game like that, man. I have spent a disturbing amount of time looting. I don't know if you know anything about Fallout, but I haven't even left Megaton. I've literally looted every piece of garbage from every nearby city. Every tin can, every book, every piece of paper. It's pathetic, dude. I've spent like 16 hours looting in that game. But it keeps you up all night. If you want to fight insomnia, definitely don't play that. But I've always noticed RPGs kind of make me a little sleepy though. Depending on the RPG, I guess. If it's on a handheld, for sure, I will fall asleep while playing it.
Crow, I can see you doing the looting in the game after watching your episode of all the garage sales that you hit up. You just had a ton of loot.
Yeah, I have a problem,
surprise.
man. I'm sick. I have a disease.
I don't know what's worse in real life or virtually.
It's pretty bad, dude. The thing is it's so satisfying to me though, in the game at least. I'm doing missions and stuff like that, but I play RPGs, I will grind myself till I'm so overpowered it's not even funny, and then I'll sit back and enjoy the story for a while.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how I play them, so that's kind of how I've been doing Fallout. When I get to the really important things that I'm actually wondering about in the game, I don't want to have to worry about, whether or not I'm going to be, fighting, just to find a piece of rad roach meat or something like that, just to save my ass for another 2 seconds and, saving every 10 feet, so in case I die, I can just, pop back there and keep trudging forward. I don't want to reach a point where I'm underpowered, and I guess I've done that a lot in gaming in the past, so now I just overcompensate like mad for it.
Right.
So, but it's fun. I'm astonished at the abilities of modern systems. I'm not about the DLC and stuff like that. That whole shit doesn't sit very well with me.
Well, yeah,
but
DLC is gonna come up on my list, so don't worry.
Yeah, man. I guess. Well, I'll save it for when you get into it. But
All right.
It's bullshit. But
I was about to say, did you want to jump into that, Sushi, or did you have something else that you wanted to bring up?
I definitely wanted to bring that one up, but I guess I'll bring up, since you already touched on Final Fantasy, I just cannot get into the series at all. I don't know what it is, and I love RPGs, and I've bought a good handful of Final Fantasy games. I think I own at least 10 or 11 of them, and I've never even finished one of them. I just don't.
Oh no!
I just can't get into them. I don't like the characters. I just don't like the overall feel of the games. I just don't like them. I don't know what it is.
Which ones did you gets, so that
I've played
people
1.
can yell at you that way.
Sure, I've played 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Few of the Tactics Advance. I don't know what it is. I just don't like the style of the games. I just can't feel like I'm a part of the world. I just don't know what it is.
Well, you can't say you didn't give the series a chance, at least.
No, I've tried. I've definitely tried. I've
That's
come
a lot
close
of
to
games for
finishing.
a series.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've tried to come close to finishing a few of them, but I just lose interest near the end. And 7 is maybe the furthest I got. I got right up to Sephiroth, and I just like, yeah, this game sucks, and then I just deleted my file. It's like, I was like, I don't care about the ending. It was like, I've done all this stuff, but I just didn't care anymore at that point. Put in like 90 hours or something. It was like, who cares?
I think that happens with a lot of people with RPGs, though. They get up to like a certain point near the end, and then they just kind of stop.
Yeah. Maybe you just lose the drive. You kind of don't care about what actually happens, and ultimately, I don't know.
I do that sometimes, but I do it for alternative reasons. I find, like, especially with like Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy X, even though a lot of people don't like that one.
I like that one too.
Yes!
That's the dividing one. I hear a lot of people say they either love that game or they just hate it.
See, I played that game when I came out of one of my favorite games of all time, The Longest Journey, which is a point-and-click adventure game.
Okay.
And from the mindset of coming out of a point-and-click adventure game and going into that, it was a beautiful transition for me because the story was kind of a two-world story, kind of like The Longest Journey is. So it satisfied that little craving that I had because The Longest Journey it's such a good game. When you're done playing it, when I played it, the sequel Dreamfall wasn't out yet, so I was really yearning for something similar. And Final Fantasy X just it filled that because it was more linear than most Final Fantasy games, but the story carried it along, and that for me it's kind of the closest I've ever seen an RPG actually come to a standard style adventure game almost. It's not point and click and stuff like that. But even like the Cloisters of Trial or the Cloister Trials and stuff like that, that's, that type of puzzle solving it's damn near like, adventure game, like Myst, or, just think of any adventure game and you wind up doing stuff like that. They may seem tedious, but the reward at the end of them and furthering the story and stuff like that, you get that nice cut scene at the end of the puzzle and stuff. It struck a chord with me. Maybe it's coming out of that particular game, The Longest Journey, that did it, but it gave me something that I was lacking at the time that I really wanted to experience further. And it did it in a slightly different way, which was cool. Incorporating the turn-based combat, because most adventure games don't have combat. But I enjoyed that one. And I mean, that one and 7, and I'm trying to think, and Dragon Quest 7 or 8. Which one's on the PS2? 8?
8.
Yeah. I've never finished Dragon Quest 8 because I kind of prefer being able to finish the story in my head. As odd as that sounds, I'm afraid that the real ending to the story is going to ruin the mystique that I have going on, and or the lore that I have going on created in my own head. It's almost like I wish I hadn't read the end of the Harry Potter series or seen the last episode of Lost. Because I would prefer to have that mystery there and just to sit there and wonder and be a nerd and kind of theorize and stuff like that. But, when things wrap it up like that, I don't know, I get afraid of finality. When there's something that I really enjoy the storyline, I will almost prefer to let the characters and the story live on in my own mind than to finish it out. And I've done that on a few occasions. I can't say I regret it, in all honesty. I know how Final Fantasy X ends, but I prefer my version.
That's kind of interesting that you say that, because I like to beat the games. I don't really mind so much. The endings, a majority of the time, they're not amazing. They're not bad for a lot of the RPGs that I played. Like, my favorite ending to an RPG is maybe Lufia 2. I think the ending for that was really, really well done. But that feeling of finality, I get that way with writing. So the story that I'm writing, I've had it with me for the idea, the concept of it for probably about 16 years. And I first started writing it, and I probably wrote about 100, close to 210 pages. And I had to stop because I could not, even though I wasn't near the end, I didn't want to finish it. And so I can definitely empathize with you on that, not wanting to finish a story. Though, I mean, for you, it's for games, and for me, it's like writing the story. Like, even though I know in my head how I want it to finish, it's kind of like, I don't want it to end, almost, which is kind of shitty on my part. So, but, yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of like the fear of the death of a world. You know, I got into video gaming, well, because video games are fun, and it's just a good time, and I used to be a really not high strung, I guess, but a really intense dude as far as, like, you know, if stuff wasn't going right, I wasn't happy, man, and I would get really upset about things and stuff like that, and, you know, I've tried to bring myself into a more zen type attitude and whatnot, and as lame as it may sound, video games actually help that, man, because it just helps you kind of lean back, take a step back, just forget about all the shit that, you know, it seems like it matters, but it really doesn't matter. It just gives you a chance to have a good time, remember what it's like to have a good time, because I think, you know, that's so much about growing up, man, is, you know, all these adult responsibilities and stuff like that, and I think people just forget that we're all kids, man. I mean, when I was growing up, I thought, you know, like, oh man, you know, these grown-ups, they know what's going on. And when I grow up, I'm going to be a grown-up and I'm going to know what's going on. And you know what? Now that I'm a grown-up, I'm realizing that nobody has a fucking clue what the hell's going on. And it all boils down to, man, we're all kids on this planet. Like, no matter how old you are. And if you've forgotten how to have a good time, like, you're missing out on a good chunk of what's going on in this experience. And, you know, video games, just kind of helps to knock some sense into you and just be like, you know, be a kid, stupid. Just smile once in a while. Make goofy faces in the mirror, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Live it up.
Yeah, that's a very true words there. That's very well said. So.
Zen in the art of video gaming.
That should be your next episode.
There you go.
I was thinking about doing something like that, but I don't want to get too existential on the roadshow. Video games are like life.
It's a side project. Just make a new show.
Yeah, right.
So, what else kind of irks you there? Going from the zen to the
anger-inducing gaming world.
What sort of other things kind of upset you there, Crow?
Well, I had a little side thought while you guys were talking Final Fantasy. One thing I hated when I was a kid is, especially when I rented Final Fantasy 1. You know, I didn't know what an RPG was. You go and you rent this game and you get it home for the weekend. It's like, sweet, I'll play this game. And, you know, 10 hours into it, it's like, holy shit, this is a long game, man. Like, but you're really getting into it. And it's like, man, the story's getting nuts. And this chick just died. And, you know, this guy's going to go, like, it's all getting crazy. And then you got to take the game back.
Oh.
And you try, like, as a kid, you don't understand, you know, late fees and stuff like that. So it's like,
right.
Well, just one more day, because, you know, when you get, like, really far into a game, you always feel like around the next corner, it's, you know, this is going to be it, man. This is going to be the big payoff. And Final Fantasy was really good at that stuff. I just hated renting that shit and finding out that it was a good game and that I had to bring it back. But
yeah, and you couldn't return it because somebody would play your save file and then you would lose everything.
Yeah, dude, like, you put all this time in, and then it's like, all right, man, next weekend, I'm going to come back
rent
and get this game. You come back, and yeah, it's like somebody's taking your save file. That's the kicker, is your name's still there. You know, it's like, oh, man, my save file's still there. You go in, and what the hell, where the fuck am I? I'm in a swamp?
You turn it on, and it just says, the end. What?
They sold all my items! And
He died?
Yeah. I hated that. I mean, it's obviously, you know, you rent it back in the 80s and 90s. That's how you found out about games and stuff. At least where I'm from, we had one video store, and you know, that's where we got our stuff from. But man, that was just infuriating sometimes, finding a good game, then having to give it back, and then that's the thing, is like, you go to school and you be like, oh my god, I played this awesome game, you guys gotta totally check it out. Well, then your dickhead friends go and rent that game in the one video store in town. Yeah. But I guess, let's think here. That was kind of a little side thing. I'm trying to think of another game I did not like. Okay, this one's going to be a little surprising. Because I love Star Wars. It is, I love Star Wars. So, random fact that nobody knows about me. I'm actually an ordained minister in the Temple of the Jedi Order, which is, it's a non-profit, an actual, 301c nonprofit religious organization based out of Texas in the United States. And it is a real, clergy position or whatever. I'm ordained under the Native American Church as well. But this is something that Star Wars really speaks to me. And I know, like, people are out there like, oh God, he thinks he's a fucking Jedi. Jesus Christ. Like, no, it's not that. I know that I can't levitate shit, and I know that I can't use the Force and jump out of a speeding sky car and land in another speeding. I know the difference between reality and movies and stuff like that. But a lot of the concepts of the Force, they work, Yeah. I think a lot of different people call a lot of different things, a lot of different names, and for me, Force just works. But all that aside, my love for Star Wars, hate Star Wars Battlefront.
I've never played that one.
Like the third-person shooter, kinda?
Yeah, I played Battlefront 1 and 2, and I don't like either of them. I tried really hard to get into them. I mean, it's a cool concept. Basically joining any Star Wars battle as virtually any character and playing it out. To me, it just seemed like it lacked the substance. I mean, it would have been one thing if it was, a fresh story like Force Unleashed or something like that. You were playing another character that is taking part in the greatest Star Wars battles and stuff like that, and you can determine your path and whatnot. But it was just so like, pick your battle, pick your character, okay, go and fight the battle. That's done. Next objective, and it was just so dry for me. And some people are probably screaming at their computers right now, but it's, a game's gotta catch you. Just like a show's gotta catch you, just like music's gotta catch you. Some stuff catches some people, and some stuff doesn't catch other people. And the Battlefront series just did not catch me. I think maybe I hyped myself up to be, for it to be more than it was, and when I got into it, I was like, oh, well, this is, I guess they did what they said, but this isn't how I pictured that it was going to go down. And the more I played it, the more I just became utterly disappointed with it, and now I hate the game. I won't play it. I don't like it.
Is it because you know the results of the real Star Wars universe? Is that why, or?
Maybe. I mean, that could be it, because of the fact that, there's really, the only appeal for me is just to go in and, fight these battles and stuff like that. There's not really, as far as I know, I mean, I didn't beat the game, so I might just be totally screwing up here, but as far as I know, there's no alternate story plot, or not enough of one to, actually make me want to go through it, like I would read a Star Wars book or something like that. Like,
right.
Those actually have significant additions to the entire expanded universe and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Those I find more value in. This, it was just more like a, kind of a nerd fanfare. And
okay.
It didn't hit my, my nerd fanfare G-spot, I guess. So.
Did not excite you enough.
Yeah, my geek spot, my G-spot.
Yeah, geek spot.
Geek spot, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, my, roommate, he and I went to high school together, and he was my roommate my sophomore year. He's a big Star Wars fan, and he actually would play those games, the Battlefront games from time to time, and I didn't mind them so much, but I'm not a big Star Wars nut, so that's cool that there's just so much to it, and there's so much depth in the universe of it. It's just like, to me, it's a bit overwhelming. So something like Battlefront's just kind of like, oh, cool, bang, bang, it's just kind of just shoot things, and then like, okay, that was fun, and then
kill the Wookiee.
That was a good shooting, man.
That was nice.
I can do a good Barney Gumble as well, but I'll save that for a later date.
Oh,
Barney Gumble
from The Simpsons.
Why does that sound familiar? Okay,
okay. Drunk guy from The Simpsons.
Oh,
I could.
Homer.
Yeah. I gotta go to this bar. Somebody spilled some beer in this ashtray.
I used to be able to do Bender, but I don't think I can do it nowadays.
Come on, do it. Try.
Yeah. I'll try. People are gonna be like, "Oh God, that doesn't sound anything like Bender."
And then just skip right to your next topic if it's not good.
I'll try. I haven't done it in years. Cause you gotta go, down in the throat here. Bite my shiny metal ass.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's not bad, man.
I'm lying down, so it's kinda, so yeah. hey Fry. Yeah, that kind of. So,
That's good.
well, thank you, and everybody else is like, oh, Taylor. Terrible. So,
We'll just do impressions the rest of the podcast.
well, that's it. I really can't do very many impressions. So, let's see. Something that really upsets me, and isn't really as much as a game, as more as people masquerading the illusion of kind of like free choice in a game as being a necessity.
Okay, meaning that such as click yes to choose an option, but if you push no, it's just going to keep making you push yes anyways?
Well, no, not necessarily that. You're being asked something and you're being given 3 choices and you pick one or something, kind of like the morality gauge and all that kind of stuff. And
okay.
It sets up different, I guess, storylines and stuff, but I think that kind of deludes the story as a whole. Like, I don't really like that. Well, you can kill this person instead of taking their mission, or, you can, I don't know, whatever. Like, for example, I've not played them, but people always want to trumpet, like, Mass Effect over something like that, giving you all these different choices that you can do certain things or whatnot. Or something as poorly done as Fable.
Yeah, Fable's not very good at it.
Well, I think that it also doesn't help that the creator always wanted to be like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing, you can cut this tree and the tree
yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. But it's not that I don't like that sort of stuff. I don't think to me, it really, I think, weakens the main plot of a game. Cause then it kind of comes down to is like, what's really the main plot? And why is this the main plot over something else? And it's, like I said, it's like a deluge of all these other options and story plot lines that are just going this way and that way and stuff. And I don't think it's very focused.
Okay.
So I don't know what you guys kind of think of that sort of thing. I don't know if I'm.
I can sympathize with that just because I can get kind of mental about the whole thing. Like, especially if it's like, well, you can do this and this will happen, or you can do this and something else may happen. And it's like, I don't want to pick one. I want to know what happens. I want to see. Yeah. So then now I got to go back and play the story again because I have this stupid mental disease that I have to know what the hell is going on. And for a guy who won't finish some stories because I want to, keep the mystery in my mind, it sure drives me batshit crazy some other times when they do stuff like that because, like I said, I have to know. So I'm one of those guys where you guys remember Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yes.
I would bookmark my choices so that I could, it's like, okay, if you want to go down this tunnel, go to page 37. So I'd bookmark the page that I was on. I'd go to page 37 and see if I liked where that was going.
Yeah, I did that.
Flip back.
Yeah.
Yep, nope.
Yeah, I'm totally one of those guys. So if you give me like 3 different paths in a story, it's like, great, now I gotta play this game 3 times because I'm not gonna be satisfied with not knowing. Which kind of sucks because I haven't played Fable yet, and I just got those over this summer.
Well, I think it's the hype surrounded by them when they were first coming out and stuff. People were expecting a lot from it, and it kind of didn't come to fruition.
Well, they still, I mean, like I haven't played Skyrim. I've seen a few streams of it and stuff like that, so it seems like they're getting a better handle on that sort of thing.
Right.
But they still don't have it down. I mean, that's almost like quantum computing you would need to make that really good,
Yeah, and like you bringing up your make your own adventure kind of books, and I don't mean that in the sense that it makes the story poor, but it makes it to where you're not as interested in the story as much as making sure you pick the one that is most enjoyable to you.
Yeah, or you spend the next stage or 20 minutes thinking about what could have been.
Right.
Right. If I didn't make that bad choice, or
yeah,
and I don't know. As for me, I'm playing a game. I just want to enjoy the thing. I don't want to be. I already got enough shit to do. I want to kind of turn off my brain and just kind of go with the flow of the game, kind of thing. I don't really I mean, if there's something like Xenogears or something philosophical like that or whatever, if they're bringing up questions like that or something, that's cool. Whatever. But when it's branching stories and stuff, just let me get to the dude and stab him or something. Not just, but that's something that I've never really been a fan of. I've always much preferred having the way paved for me, where I'm oh, go here next or something. And then, if you have side stuff, then that's side stuff, whatever, that's all bonus, but not when it's you must choose.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Wisely. So.
Personally, I do kind of like the morality stuff. I think most of the BioWare stuff is pretty well done. because it does affect the main story, but not enough that you feel detracted from doing everything to get to the main story. And yeah, you do probably have to play the game twice if you want to see kind of the evil side and the good side, such as Knights of the Old Republic, or even like a game that a lot of people forget about is Jade Empire, which was the game that came out right after Knights of the Old Republic. Somehow that game got lost in between Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic, but that was a good game. I personally like when it's just kind of sprinkled on. If it's not gonna really, really change the plot that much. If it's just kind of like, okay, if you chose to kill this guy, then he's just not gonna be in the game. But he's not a big part of the game. I don't know. Personally, I don't mind it, but I can see why you guys would not like it. Because I do have that kind of, I need that control over everything to be set for me. So that I don't have to worry about, oh my god, if I do this now, I gotta save this game like 20 times in a row now so that I can keep changing the plot.
And the thing is I think that it kind of, for me, it kind of detracts from the character, from like the main character. If it's, they have their own kind of personality and what they say and everything, and then you're given this option to choose, you should kind of keep it in tune with the character, because if you do it with your own kind of thoughts and stuff, I think it really kind of takes away from the character being the character. I like to see the main character doing its stuff and not me projecting myself into the main character.
You're talking about the character already has some sort of a personality at the beginning of the game?
Right.
Well, most of these games that come out now don't. They're just kind of blank slate characters, and you basically build them from the start.
Yeah, and I don't like I like to be more of the third person, kind of just the observer, and not really,
the watcher.
Yes, I like to be the lurker.
The peeper.
The peeper.
Taylor behind the bushes playing the game. Hey!
Yes. So, I guess maybe because I grew up reading a lot, so, they have all these kind of characters that their own kind of thing, and I never really projected myself as the characters when reading books, so I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
You're just along for the ride, basically.
Exactly. So.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. That tangent done.
I still want to touch on a few things here. So, no, the first one, Crow, you think you're going to get a lot of heat for the Star Wars game there, but this one's going to draw a lot of criticism, and that is one of my most disliked games ever is Ocarina of Time. That's going to bring some serious heat, I think.
Sizzling.
That's going to bring some heat to the plate for sure. I don't know.
I think I'm going to get out of here before the shrapnel falls. I'll see you later.
Don't worry. I'll jump straight on the bomb. I'll take it.
Hop on that grenade.
I'll save you guys. I won't be joining for episode 6.
Wait, this is episode 6.
I won't be joining for episode 7. I'm leaving the rest of episode 6. Yeah, episode 6.
Yeah. Silent.
No, really, I think just with Ocarina of Time, there was such a massive build-up because there hadn't been a Zelda adventure for a console for some time after Link to the Past had come out. And so there was a lot of hype and a lot of push for this new game being in 3D, and how Nintendo had said they've been working on it for years. It was going to be the biggest game on a cartridge. Just big push to show that this was going to be the biggest game Nintendo had ever done at that time. And so everyone was buying into the hype, and kind of what Crow said before, I was kind of anti getting into the popular things. And I loved Zelda quite dearly up to that point. But I don't know, once Ocarina of Time came out, I was a little apprehensive, and I thought, okay, you know what, I better try this. And I started playing it, and I thought, what's the big deal? Like, what is so great about this? It's just Zelda in 3D. And I think at that point I was just not interested at all in 3D games still. It's just still kind of holding on to the past a little too much. Probably partly because I didn't have an N64 and a PlayStation and that stuff. So maybe that's why I was kind of just, this is not for me. But what are you guys' kind of thoughts on Ocarina of Time? Like, do you feel it was as good as it was when it came out, or if it's still that good, or not?
I have a confession.
Uh-oh.
I've never played Ocarina of Time.
No.
Well, that's better than me saying it sucks. So.
I'm sorry. I can't say that I've played a little bit of it. It's mainly because it was an expensive game back in the day, and I didn't have, I bought all my games myself and stuff, so it's just one of those. I bought GoldenEye, and I bought different games instead of that. I can kind of sympathize with what you're saying, though, because Mario 64, to me, was almost the same way, and a lot of people are like, that's like the best Mario game that's ever been made, or, at least the best 3D Mario game. But in the beginning, I was playing it. I mean, I love the game now, but in the beginning I was just kind of like, take me back to 2D, man. Like, the 3D thing just wasn't really doing it for me, and it was a little, when you look back at it now, it's aged a little bit. It's blocky 3D. It's not 3D like we have nowadays, and I don't know, I think maybe I was expecting a little more, and I was, ever so slightly let down, and it just kind of, I mean, I played the game, I finished it. It was, I mean, at the time I was like, oh, that was okay, but it wasn't any, like, eye-opening experience for me. I wasn't like, this is the future, man. It was more like, well, that's cool. It'll be better when they get it, when they refine the craft a little bit more or something like that. But yeah, I kind of had the same feelings towards Mario, though I did grow to love it, in time or whatever. But yeah, I've never played Ocarina of Time. It's right up my alley, man. I love Zelda games. It's just one of those things. And now it's just so damn expensive. So
yeah,
right back to where I was when I was a kid. It's like, do I spend, so much on a game, or do I take that same amount of money and buy like 5 or 6 other games that I've been looking at getting? And I usually go for quantity, which is not always the best, but yeah.
But it's way more fun, usually.
Yeah.
Adventure in itself.
Yeah, bad games can be fun, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess also just to throw in, because of Ocarina of Time, I have not played any of the new Zelda games on console. I just pretty much refuse to play them. I just don't think I'm going to get into them at all.
I would try Twilight Princess.
I would.
Yeah? Alright.
I love that one.
It's, to me, like, I kind of got out of Zelda right after the, Link to the Past, and didn't really get back into it. Like, I missed Majora's Mask, missed Wind Waker. I got back into it around Twilight Princess, and it's a really good standalone game. If you don't want to worry about, I know Nintendo's released the official timeline and all that stuff, but if you really don't want to worry about, like, what the hell's the backstory and what's going on here, it's just a good standalone game all by itself. It's a good story, and it's fun. It really is a fun game, in all honesty.
Alright, well maybe I will check it out.
It's definitely worth a try. It's, you know what, Zelda Twilight Princess is probably closer to what you would have expected Ocarina of Time to do.
Okay.
In that time period, like the epic game that it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I'll get a lot of hate for that too, but
maybe.
To me, it lives up to the expectations of a next-gen Zelda game a lot more than, the impression that I get from, some of the other 3D Zelda games.
Cool.
Actually, I kind of would agree with Crow's sentiments on that, because I 3 for 3 for not really big fans of the game, but I'm not a really big fan of it. I don't mind it, but I failed to see what was so engrossing about Ocarina of Time. People want to bring up things like some sort of, quote unquote scientific reasons why the game is so great. And they'll bring up the bit about Hyrule Field. To me, Hyrule Field is so goddamn boring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. There's like nothing there. You get those stupid little helicopter things, or I don't even know what the hell they're called. You get those stupid things flying around sometimes. I don't remember there being music really that much in it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, there is music, but like maybe not at nighttime. It doesn't have the Hyrulean theme. It's not and that to me in itself, like, just made it suck. In that sense. Like, I was so disappointed.
Wow. It missed a piece of music, so it sucked.
Well,
Sucked.
Yeah, I know. Well, like, cause to me that's such an integral part of Zelda. And for that to be missing, I was just kind of like, why am I running around Hyrule Field without the Hyrule Field theme? What is going on? And like, the addition of Epona was nice because you get a pony and you can ride around on a pony, but it's like, Hyrule Field is so, like, people want to point out and say that's such a fantastic thing. That part is just, that whole section is just boring. And like, a lot of the transitions to 3D aren't as exciting. The game's really easy, I think. As opposed to, like, the first time playing it compared to the first time playing A Link to the Past or Link's Awakening. Well, Link's Awakening is a little easy too. But
yeah.
A Link to the Past, playing that the first time, and you go into the Dark World and just get completely demolished by things.
Dude, the first time I went into the Dark World, like, when that game just came out, that blew my mind, man. I thought I had beaten the game. I was like, oh, okay, sweet, I beat the game. I beat Zelda. I'm gonna go to school, tell everybody, I beat Zelda, and they're all gonna be like, oh, how'd you do it so fast? And then the Dark World came, and it was like,
7 more dungeons?
Another game inside of the game?
So, yeah. And it's just really not, I don't know, I just, like, I didn't find it, overwhelmingly, you know how like when you go into the Deku Tree and you fight the mother spider right at the beginning?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my god, that's so awesome, that's so sweet, yeah! And I'm like, I found that really, like, hard to see more than anything. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I see, like, the eye and then the spider thing drop down, but I was like, more like, I couldn't really see what was going on, and the fight was, like, really, really easy. And I know I'm complaining about it being easy, but I like Twilight Princess a lot more than Ocarina of Time. Like, Twilight Princess is one of my favorites, and I think it's not only that, but it's like the graphical style of it.
Yeah, it's really neat.
I love that presentation. I don't know what you would call it, but
it's not fluffy, but it's not like hard edged either. It's like a nice happy medium in between like the old like harsh 3D that we used to have. Just why can't I think of the name? I don't know, blocky, like, you know, just the way that like 3D, like Super Mario 64.
Like polygonal?
Yeah, polygonal. It's a nice, soft, fuzzy little area in between the crisp, high def stuff that we've got going on with like this 3 and the 360, and then, you know, then there's like the cartoony, you know, just the Nintendo quality that Nintendo has to it, just kind of like the bubbly, cartoony thing. And it's like a happy medium between that, because it's like, the game itself is like dead fucking serious, man. But like, it's set in this whimsical universe that's very well presented, and even though it's not like, you know, 1080p, whoa, it feels like I'm watching a movie, like, you know, it's an experience that you can really get into and immerse yourself in, which is cool. That's what I look for the most in a game, is an immersion. If I forget that I'm a human being on planet Earth, and I suddenly start to think that I'm a Hyrulean, or, you know, whatever game it is, or something like that, if I look in the mirror and I'm shocked to see a human, like, the game has done a damn good job of what it's supposed to do.
So yeah, I guess you will be sharing the hate mail with Crow and I there, Sushi. So.
I guess so. We still love Zelda, believe it.
Yeah, we love
Zelda.
It's just for some reason, Ocarina of Time doesn't seem to resonate with the three of us. So
I think that happens a lot with like cult classics and stuff like that too. You find anything that is a cult favorite, and there's some people who just appreciate everything that there is to it, you know, and then there's other people who are just kind of on the outside, where it's like, you know, I guess due to one circumstance or another, it's good, but it's not the mind-altering, life-changing experience that some people get out of it. I guess it's just different for everybody. Like, I would never expect anybody to go and play The Longest Journey and get the same experience that I got out of it, because you would have to be in a pretty rough place in your life to get that. That's for sure. I think that game stopped me from hurting myself, in all honesty. But
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it came along at a crucial time. But yeah, I think in any realm of fanaticism or fanboyism, there's some stuff that, you know, some people appreciate, and then there's some stuff that it's different strokes for different folks, I guess.
Yep, for sure.
Exactly.
How about we move away from Zelda for a bit?
Right.
I didn't think it was going to get that deep.
Zelda, man.
Yeah. What do you got there, Crow? You got some more?
Oh yeah, I got a list. Actually,
you're checking it twice?
Slowly. Gonna go home and eat chicken and rice. Let's see. Well, I got a couple new ones here, actually. Newer games that I don't like, that I really, really don't like. I don't know if you guys have heard of this one. It's for the Wii. It's called Attack of the 3D Movies.
No, I've never heard of that, but it sounds hilarious.
Don't ever buy this game. Like, I'm a real gimmicky kind of gamer. It's not that I always enjoy playing with the gimmicks and stuff like that. Like, I don't play all my Nintendo games with the Power Glove, but I enjoy the gimmick that it is, and I actually have a really solid working Power Glove. Like, in fact, I may have the only solid working Power Glove. And I've never had a Power Glove before this, but it's just a touch less responsive than my Wiimote. So I don't know if maybe there was good batches of Power Gloves and bad batches, but this one works. I beat Super Mario Brothers with the Power Glove, which is a feat unto itself. And
sure.
It wasn't that hard with this one. It responds really well. But I like gimmicky stuff, and Attack of the 3D movies look really neat. It's a Wii game. It's got one of those 3D images on the cover. You know, it's made of like that ridged material. When you scratch it, it sounds like
scratchy
scratching.
sound. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that, and it says includes 3D glasses, and I'm like, 3D, holy shit, you know? So, I love 3D stuff, man. Like, I had the Virtual Boy when it came out. I have a
Master
number.
System 3D glasses.
I've never experienced those.
Yeah, me neither.
I would like to. But, I love anything 3D. I like getting 3D movies, even if they're just like the Anaglyph 3D, which is mainly what I have here, but this is another one of those, it's Anaglyph, like, what's it called? Jim Power in the Lost Dimension, I believe. Or Jim Power in the Lost Dimension in 3D is the game title, but it's a Super Nintendo game with, 3D glasses. And actually, it's, probably the best 3D game I've ever seen, in all honesty.
Wow.
3D, it's like 3DS quality. It uses these purple and green glasses as opposed to the red and blue. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty wild. But anyways, Attack the 3D movies, you put on the 3D glasses. It is 3D. It is like migraine-inducing 3D, though. Like 5 minutes after playing this, you're obviously tearing the glasses off. Like, screw this, man. And on easy mode, I've played this game for over 10 hours, okay? And what would possess me to do this, I don't know. On easy mode, I still can't beat the first fucking stage. And
Jesus.
It's an on-rails shooter, you know, kind of like House of the Dead and stuff like that. But, you're basically fighting off, like, these alien insects that are just, you know, crawling all over a city, and it's, you know, swooping you from one location to another, and you jump in a helicopter and you fly over the city, and the helicopter lands, and you sit in an alley for a while and blast little ants that are breathing fire at you and crazy shit like that. But it's just relentless. On the easiest mode, 2 people cannot clear the first stage. Like, just non-stop shooting. It's probably the hardest on-rails arcade shooter I've ever encountered, and I hate it sheerly for the fact that I've played it for 10 hours and I can't beat the first damn screen. It's ridiculously hard. If you think you're good at arcade shooters, or at least on-rails shooters, give this a try and it will put you to tears, man. Right.
Tears under those 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Are they those cheap 3D glasses that feel like they're just gonna melt off your face after 5 minutes?
Yeah, they're the red and blue, the Anaglyph ones. Ones awesome. That, like, they used to pass out, like, you go to your gas station before the Super Bowl. And, like,
before New Year's Eve. You can see the fireworks in 3D!
Yeah!
Oh my god!
Oh, man. But I get a kick out of that stuff. I don't know why. I play Minecraft in 3D. I don't know if you guys, well, Taylor, you don't play Minecraft. I don't know if you do, Sushi.
I know enough about it. I haven't played it, but I've definitely seen it in action.
Well, Minecraft, in the options, the video options, there's just this random option that allows you to turn on a 3D Anaglyph, and you can use the red and blue classic party glasses or whatever.
Okay.
And it's 3D. It looks pretty cool. It's, once again, you know, I think until they really change the concept behind how 3D works and how we perceive it, I think you're going to get the headache effect. Or at least the strained eye effect, and it does do that, but it's pretty sick, you know, playing in Minecraft, you know, making a 400-foot tall pixel art Mario and then looking at it in 3D. I built Hogwarts.
Wow.
That took me about a month. To be fair, I did it off of somebody else's build. Like, I used their build as a plan or whatever, and I just basically copied theirs so I could have it in my survival thing, but Minecraft is so wild.
There's some sick stuff on there. I saw Taylor, you'd probably get a kick out of the guy who built the Game Boy that plays Link's Awakening at the start.
What?
It just plays the first intro of Link's Awakening, and then it just starts maybe the first minute of the game. It literally looks like it's a giant Game Boy that loads up Link's Awakening. You can see it on YouTube for sure. It's nuts.
That is fantastic. I will have to check that out.
Some people were saying that it's fake, but it looks like this guy actually made it.
I would believe it. People are making, if you go on YouTube and type in Minecraft computer, people are making, like actual 8-bit computers out of because you get this stuff called redstone in there and it lets you make circuitry.
Okay.
And, you can make pretty complex circuitry too. You can make like, relays, there's even like mods where you can, basically, they would work as capacitors and stuff. You can use, like, relay timing units and all sorts of crazy stuff to make circuits behave in a different way. And people are literally making these computer processors in Minecraft that span hundreds of miles. I mean, because in Minecraft, everything is made up by meter blocks.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you can imagine, 1 meter of, wiring or whatever to make something that would actually have the processing power of an 8-bit computer. You're talking about thousands of miles of, wiring that you're having to lay down. And when these guys zoom out above their worlds, it actually looks like, like an Intel processor or some shit like that. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
I thought I had a lot of time building, a copy of the Death Star in my backyard, but these guys are nuts, man.
Little
Smart.
paper arcade cabinets, and these guys are sitting here at the computers building worlds.
Yeah! Yeah, right? Talking about making a lightsaber, and these guys are making, they're doing, literally Minecraft Inception. They're making, games with games. And it's yeah.
Must go
That game
deeper.
it's a nuts game, man. It's very addicting. I will warn you on that. How the hell did we start talking about Minecraft?
I don't know what the hell happened, but
I don't remember.
let's put this back on track.
3D.
This is
It was
3D
3D.
Attack of the 3D movies.
So yeah, that's
Well, that's a shit game. That's bullshit. It's
We had to
absolute
talk about a good game, I guess, to get that bad taste out of your mouth.
True. There aren't many modern games that I really don't like, but that was one of them. Unfortunately, I did not like Modern Warfare 3.
Okay.
It's, I think I'm more of a GoldenEye guy, in all honesty, man. There's too much shit going on, and I was not enjoying myself playing that game at all. Some people are like, it's amazing because you feel like you're actually in a war, and I hate it because I feel like I'm actually in a war. Stress, and I was dying left and right, not even getting through the story. Maybe it's a bad title to pick as it was probably the second game I played on the PS3.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I'm already in holy crap mode, in astonishment at the capabilities of this, and then throw something like that on top of it. I couldn't handle it, man.
I think that's understandable.
I haven't even played.
Me neither. I haven't played any of those games. They're just not for me.
Yeah, I had to take a stab at it because, so many people talk about it, but yeah, it's, it takes a certain kind of gamer to appreciate a game like that, and, fortunately or unfortunately, I am just not that type of gamer, but that's cool for people who like it. I mean, it looks pretty, I'll tell you that much. Just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm interested to try Battlefield just to see if the more, the teamwork aspect kind of helps things out, because, yeah, I just felt like a fish out of water playing that game. I'm just walking around
just running around. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I guess we're in the big minority, since those games are selling big time, and I haven't really even touched them, so.
Let's see. A couple things that I've got. Let's see. One is as much as I love this series, I hate this game, Dragon Quest 2. I really don't like Dragon Quest 2.
What's up with 2?
And have either of you played 2?
I have it on the NES, so I played a bit. Sorry, Crow.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I played a little bit of it on an emulator, and, I don't know why I stopped.
'Cause it's terrible.
Possibly. I think maybe 2 is where they introduced the party system, right? Yeah, I think maybe that threw me off too. I really like I still play Dragon Quest. That's the first RPG I ever played, and that's the one that got me into RPGs, and I still freaking play that game. From start to finish, and I don't even know how many times I've beaten it, but I enjoy it every time. It's something about setting out into this little world solo, having only yourself to look after, and it's a very bare bones RPG, but there's something about the simplicity of it that I really like. Something about the party system of the second game threw me off, I think.
I think also because it introduces multiple enemies, and for the first few Dragon Quest games, I'm trying to think, because I think they remedy that. Well, for the most part, you have it where, you'll attack a group of enemies, but you can't pick which enemy to attack.
Okay.
Right on.
Which makes it frustrating, because you're like, I want to kill this one, but no, you're going to attack this one instead, and you're going to go down the line, fuck you, ha 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 ha, and that aggravates me. The enemies are...
that's huge strategy.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just kind of like, I know, I want to attack this one, and I cannot stand the baboons in 2. Every time a fucking new, baboon...
Damn baboons!
Yeah, anytime like the baboon or a variation of the baboon sprite or whatever pops up, you're going to probably die the first time you see it. Because there's always a bunch of them, they always hit like bricks, they always take a lot of hits, and they're really annoying, and it's just kind of like, oh my god, just every time, run into baboons, everywhere baboons. Just
Baboon casts hump on your party.
So like that, like the final dungeon in that game is just like the last stretch of it is just brutal. It is so brutal, and you just go through, and then you finally get to the final castle, and you got to go through that. And there's many bosses in the castle, and they have spells that will insta kill you, and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, why? It's just,
So you got punished a lot in that game, so that's why you hate it?
yeah, it's not. Yeah, you get punished a lot, and it's just not. It's not friendly. It's not fun. Like I enjoy 1. I love 1. I love 3. 2, not at all. 2, I don't really care for at all. Yeah. So.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess I'll throw a couple of quick ones out, just some rapid fire ones here. One thing, I have never actually played this game, but I'm just tired of seeing it. It's Angry Birds. I'm tired of kids talking about it. I'm tired of seeing it on every website. I'm just tired of Angry Birds.
Plushies everywhere.
Oh, everywhere.
Really?
It's everything.
Dude.
It's pillows, toys, bookmarks, notebooks. It's everything.
That's insane.
Especially I don't know what it's like over in Japan, but in the US, man, like, I've never seen more plushies made for a video game. Ever.
Really?
Dude, it's asinine. I mean, they're everywhere. They're in bookstores. They're in music stores. They're in freaking gas stations. Like,
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's two different markets because, over in the US, I won't say that, like the smartphone revolution or whatever it's not taking over the handheld market. Like a lot of people are afraid that, everybody's going to be gaming on the iOS. And I think that's not going to happen because it's like apples to oranges, man. Like they're two totally different types of gaming, and they're two totally different types of systems too. Like people are trying to compare the Vita to, the iPhone 4S, and it's like,
Why?
Yeah, why?
the iPhone 4S is not designed to do what the Vita does, nor is the Vita designed to do what the iPhone 4S does. Like,
But let's compare them anyways.
Yeah, I mean, they may take advantage of similar technologies, but one is a freaking gaming console. I mean, like, bare bones. The other one is, you can play video games on it, but you can also organize all of your favorite movies, and you can find out where you want to eat tonight, get directions, and, I mean, they're totally different things, and while I believe they will merge, there will be more gaming on portable devices and stuff like that aren't dedicated gaming systems. You can't beat the fact that a dedicated gaming system crammed in a same size case. If you take an iPhone, you take the same materials, but you configure them to only run games. Take advantage of all that those materials have to offer, only, just to run games. The gaming system's going to be more capable. It's going to have better things. It's going to have a whole different plethora of things to offer. Yeah, so I don't think it's too big of a freak out there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Angry Birds, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I've never even played it. I've seen people play it. I'm just like, okay, so what? You shoot a slingshot. Is that it?
Weren't we, I mean, that's the thing is like Angry Birds got so big, but I distinctly remember playing about, 1,000 Flash games.
That do the same damn thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, take a penguin, put him in a cannon, see how far you can make him shoot.
Right.
Take a dog, put him in a slingshot, see how far you can make him shoot. We got a cow in a catapult, and see how far. And it's just like, somebody got really fucking lucky on that one. That's for sure.
I guess that just the characters look appealing to kids and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
My younger brother, he just turned 20, and I was talking to him Friday, and he has like a Angry Birds plush and everything, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Like, I know nothing, like, I know of the game, but there's like nothing in Japan, or at least where I'm at, that, so I never realized it was that prolific
Oh yeah.
In the
America.
world. Well, in the world,
You
because
should-
it seems to be in the world now.
Yeah. You should troll him and
anywhere.
tell him, like, when you're looking at his plush, be like, wow, that's really rare, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody has Those.
I think he's a bit smart. I hope he's a bit smarter than that. So
$1,000 on eBay.
Yeah.
Then he finds out that there's about 500 listings under his. Yeah, that's one for sure. I'll just fire off mine real quick because there's only two more. The other one is just in general in games that have really tight platforming segments where you have to make a jump, but there's always some kind of catch. Maybe you have to run to make the jump, or it's just a very small platform and it disappears if you jump on it, or I really, really get tired of that kind of mechanic in gaming. It just, overall, it just, after I play it once, I'm like, okay, fine, I gotta do this real fast. Twice, die again. Okay. 3, 4, 5. It just starts to piss you off so much. Taylor, you have a good example of that when you were playing Klonoa the other day. Just dumb platforming things like that. When it's dealing with jumping especially, I just get so tired of that.
Yeah, it can be frustrating. Yeah, like that's not very fun. It's more of kind of like, okay, yeah, you died, this is great, alright. And you try to do it again, and then you get frustrated, and then you just start fucking it up more and more and more.
Yeah.
It just spirals out of control, and you're just like, okay, we're done with this before I break something, kind of thing.
Break my head.
Like that, have you guys ever seen that Super Mario frustration video?
No.
Oh god. Go on YouTube sometime, type in Super Mario Brothers frustration, and there's a guy in there, for the longest time I thought it was Stan Bergman. I don't know if you know who Stan Bergman is, but he's another video game commenter on YouTube, but I don't think it's him, but he's got this, it's kind of a mix between like a Hispanic accent and like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a very humorous accent, especially considering the fact that like the dude starts off and it's a hacked version of Super Mario Brothers. I don't know the particular ROM name. I know that it is on one of the versions of the Power Joy. It's like a plug and play, Famiclone kind of thing.
It's one that's like balls hard, right? Where you have to be doing like wall jumps and stuff like that. And
you start off in the air. I mean, if you don't do anything from when the game starts, you'll just fall into a pit. Like it starts off and you fall. Like, so you literally have to, at the moment that the game starts, you hit the jump button and it gives you kind of like a weird moon jump for a half second. And you can finally get over to this block. But the thing is the block is way too far away from the next block. And so you can't do a running jump. So you literally have to like nail this. And there's just those little blocks like you were talking about. Like you gotta jump on this tiny little block and then to this little tiny block. But you have to nail all of it at breakneck speed in order to keep the momentum up and get it. And this guy spends about, I don't even know how long, probably about a half an hour, I think the video is. Just, I mean, he goes from, at the beginning of the video, he's like, okay, Mario, we're gonna do this. We're gonna catch the princess, and you're gonna get laid tonight, and it's gonna be awesome. And he actually kind of sounds like Raymond from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Like, he's got that nasally kind of...
Yeah, actually, he sounds more like that than anything. But, and at the end, like, there's this one line that he says, he keeps dying and he starts, like, frustratingly singing the music, where it's like, so,
I think I do that. Does anybody else do that?
Yeah.
Not really myself.
No?
But, no.
Guy, like, 8 times in a row, yeah.
Like, no, you get just really pissed off. And then even when you die too and you get the game over music, you're like, yeah, fuck you.
Basically, that's what this video is this guy's slow deterioration over the course of, this video. And, like, at one point, he just, like, you hear him, like, hitting something. And he's hitting something. He's just like, I hate everything that's ever existed. It's amazing, man. But
shooting bullet holes in his wall.
Yeah. You hear him at one point stick his head into what sounds like a pillow and just scream. Like, it's not like the dude's not acting either. I mean, if he's acting, he's a damn good actor because it's... The first time I watched it, and I've probably watched it like 20 times, I was just in freaking tears, man. Like, it's exactly what you would think it was. I mean, just imagine watching somebody playing that type of shit that you hate. And just losing their freaking mind at it.
The Oscar goes to Frustrated Mario Guy.
Yeah.
He's unable to attend. He's in a mental hospital. All right, the last one I was going to throw out, and Crow, you kind of had something to say on it, was the DLC. To me, DLC just feels cheap. It feels as though the developers had all this stuff in mind, could have put it in the game, and decided, let's make a few bucks after, and just, I don't know, I get the idea where they're like, oh, we're losing money to used games and blah, 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 but I just feel like it's cheap. It doesn't feel like they actually have intention of making the perfect game from the start.
Yeah. Well, and they've always lost money from used games.
Yeah,
it's like,
always.
Oh, boo fucking who? Like, you're the only one who's ever had a product that somebody's sold secondhand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't sympathize much with that. Like, there are some things that I can understand doing DLC for. Maybe a year down the road, they come out with a new map for, there's some DLC for Fallout 3 that I'm a little interested in. Just a little, because it's like, well, to me, Fallout 3 is a pretty complete game. I'm getting my money's worth out of it, so I wouldn't mind purchasing DLC if that were the case. If the game has, like, literally given me far more than I could have ever asked for, then that's fine. But, I mean, like, you hear this? You can't see them. These are games, man. Like, they're, the game's in there. And back in the day, they had to make it, and they had to make it right the first time. Otherwise, people didn't buy it. And the company went down and shit like that. And now they're just, it's like they don't have to work hard. It's not that they're not working hard on the games, but
just more pressure, I guess, by their company to be like, we need this game out by said date.
Yeah. And that's, I don't know, man. I mean, gaming is, obviously it's a business. If the business end didn't work, then people couldn't get games out in a mass scale. Everything would be homebrew, and we'd have like one console to try and scrounge up some games on and stuff. But, it's a business. It's made a good market for itself, and, it does have to exist that way. But they also have to remember that video games came from the underground. And they will go back underground unless they start treating people well, too. Like, being honest with people about stuff. Like, if you're selling a product, sell it as, version 1.0. But, PC games do that all the time. They put versions behind their games and stuff like that, and people have no problem with it because it's said up front, like, hey, we're going to give you this game. It's not 100%, but we think you guys could help us figure that out. I mean, that's showing respect to the consumer. Not saying we know what you want. We know what's good for you, and taking shit out of it,
Yeah, sorry, they're telling you it's a full product, but it's a broken product, and they're like, oh, we'll patch it later.
Yeah.
Just like dumb things like that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. Anytime, I've done this a few times I've done it once on the PS3, and I've done it a few times on the Wii, I believe, but if anything comes out and it needs to be patched, I bring it back. That's a broken game.
Yeah.
That may seem a little extreme to some people, but to me, that's a clear message to those people to knock this shit off. You give me a broken game, I'm going to send your broken game back to you, and you're going to have to worry about sending it to somebody else. And, I don't mind a patch here or there, let's say somebody finds, a real game-breaking glitch somewhere down the road, like 6 months down the road, and it's a really obscure thing, but it's just something that you'd want to patch up just to make sure that people who play in the long run, they get to appreciate the game and they don't screw it up for themselves or something. That's cool. Putting in, like, the fact that the game doesn't boot up after the start screen, like, that's some shit you should have checked before you put it in the box, man.
You type in your name and it crashes or something stupid like that.
What the hell? I mean, that's where I kind of draw the line, and maybe I will forever remain on the other side of that line while gaming moves forward into another, area of marketing, and maybe I'll just be a retro gamer or whatever if that's the way they're gonna go. But that's kind of where I put my foot down and I say, like, yo, we're paying you guys a big chunk of money for these. I mean, if these are AAA titles, you want to say that you put so many $1 million into a game, and that's why it costs $60, and that's why we have to pay you a code to pay online, and, all this stuff like that. Make the fucking game work.
For sure.
Take the time. I mean, even if you have to delay it or something like that, it's the corporate pushing shit forward like it's a freaking cable show bullshit isn't hacking it, man. Like, at least not for me. Maybe some people, they don't care. It's just, they'll enjoy it and they'll just deal with it as it comes. Me, I like to put my game in and I like to play, and I don't like waiting 4 hours for them to fix the game. I don't know.
I agree. I've kind of come to this conclusion that I wonder, they're always talking about how much more it costs to make games these days and all this stuff, and how the teams are so big and it costs them all this money. But I've never seen anybody really break down how much money it used to cost to make old cart games and stuff. Nobody ever really brings that up. And I'm not saying that they don't spend a lot of more money today, but I'm just curious, like, how much money did they used to spend? Did they spend as much? Did they really spend as little as everyone claims they did? I'm really curious on those numbers, but nobody ever says anything about it.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, software and hardware remain similarly priced. Like, obviously, something from 10 years ago is cheaper now than it was 10 years ago, but when you look at top of the line products, like, just development kits, software developing and stuff like that, look at the price point of those versus the price point of software that was, it doesn't accomplish the same thing now, but it was, it's, the 1990s equivalent of whatever that was or whatever.
Right.
The price points remain very similar. I mean, these guys aren't, when inflation is concerned and stuff like that, these guys aren't having to pay a lot more for things. They're choosing to. They're getting these huge ass teams involved. And personally, man, there's a reason why I like indie games, is because there's just enough cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
You get too many cooks in the kitchen, suddenly there's an egg dropped in the french fries and the burgers are in the dishwater, and all sorts of shit's going wrong. And that's what happens. I mean, they get this thing and they're like, all right, we made this, they're all in the kitchen making a cake, and it's like, cool, we made this cake, let's send it out there, and you get it out to the table, and the guy's like, there's no, like, frosting on the cake. And they're like, okay, hang on, we'll send somebody right out to put frosting on for you. And it's
there's
like,
nothing
shit,
in the
dude,
cake.
Yeah, like,
it's just
wasn't this a strawberry filling cake? Okay, we'll send somebody right out to take a strawberry filling cake. It's like, well, I've already eaten half the damn cake already.
Where's the part of the cake that's from the inside?
I guess that's a good question to ask yourself. If you went into any other sort of business and that's the way they treated you, if you went in to get a massage and you went in and they laid you down on the massage table and, you got the towel over you and everything like that, and the guy just walked out, and then you go, after 45 minutes, the dinger goes off and you go up to the front. Yeah. You go to the front desk and they're like, oh, how did you enjoy your massage? And you're like, I didn't get no damn massage. Like, the guy just left. And they're like, oh, well, here, we'll just send you right back in there. And the guy goes in there and he takes off your shoes and he leaves, You wouldn't stay for the massage. And I don't know why I should stick around for these games that, they're broken. And if it's too big of an endeavor, then don't take on that endeavor. I understand there's a fine line between innovation and insanity. And, I understand that's difficult to maintain, but for Christ's sake, not everybody has to be that challenged in the area.
I guess they're going for bigger is better.
I guess. So, I mean, look at Avatar, dude. The 3D looked really cool and stuff like that, but that right there is a good example of, take Avatar versus the original Star Wars trilogy. Look how much money was spent on each of those, and which one's the better film.
Mm-hmm.
Like, money doesn't equal quality. Like, soul. Like, that's, people talk about whether or not video games are art, and I believe they are entirely art. They've got so much art in them. They in themselves are an art form, but they incorporate so much other art forms. It's absolutely ridiculous, and that's where I think these companies are losing it. They're not you gotta put soul into art, man. Like,
for sure.
You can't art doesn't come from a stamp. You don't look at somebody who traces drawings and call them an artist. You don't call a rubber stamp company, an artist company or whatever. Like, it's a fucking rubber stamp company, and that's what these companies are. It's, I think a lot of them are losing the art. And, I mean, to be fair, there is a lot of really good stuff out there, but I think
aspects of it are good.
Yeah, I think the way that DLC has been going, the way that they are using it, is just, it's bogus, man. It's totally stupid. It's a kick in the face to the consumer. The people who have, over the years, made you into the conglomerates that you are, to try and nickel and dime them further when we will quite willingly bend over backwards to support you. And, yeah, to go and nickel and dime or bite the hand that feeds it's stupid. And I'm not like all indignant, like, we are your employers, you must listen to us, and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, come on, man, like like I said, we've proved time and time again that gamers will bend over backwards. We will import games from other countries. We'll travel to other countries to get import games. We'll make petitions of hundreds of thousands of people to get a game shipped over here simply because we enjoy the artwork and we want to help you as a company continue to make such awesome things. And they don't need to do that shit. Like, gamers are loyal as it is. Can you imagine how freaking loyal we would be if they started just throwing out free DLC for everything?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
It would be, I'd be, in the words of Pete Dora, I'd be in line for that shit.
That's really well said. Like, I've never really been a fan of the DLC stuff, and I've always just kind of avoided it.
Yeah.
So because there's no really, like, I will, like, download games from, like, the PSN and things like that. I don't like that because I don't feel like trying to find, like, as much as I like video games and, like, the old video games, I hate shopping. So I cannot stand shopping. So if I ever go out even for, like, video games or something, I like to, like, just go in there, and if I don't see what I'm looking for, I'm usually just out the door, which is kind of not what you want to have if you're, like, a game collector or something. Do not do what Taylor does when it comes to that sort of thing. So, like,
don't do what Taylor does.
Yeah. And so, like DLC stuff, I just, like, never really kind of agree with both of your sentiments on it, that it's, you know, that they don't, when they put out a DLC, it almost feels like they're not even trying to strive to make a complete game. Especially if they come out with DLC really, really quickly.
Well, they have the day one DLC all the time, and you're just thinking, why isn't this on the disc already?
Or it's already on the disc, but you need the code to unlock.
Well, that too. That's even worse.
That's
so conniving. It's just like, that is such a money grab. And it's just like, really? You're gonna, like, nickel and dime people for that kind of thing?
Or crap like you have to download or you have to buy from GameStop to get, you know, this extra content. Or what about guys like us who have to import it from outside of the US and things? We get screwed. We can't get that stuff.
Well, I don't, so. So,
I mean, I've never bought DLC just on the fact that I think it's cheap, but just sometimes you see stuff and you think, oh, that's actually interesting. And you do get that stuff for free sometimes, but we just have no chance of getting it.
Well, we used to, man. I mean, right now I can open up my Dragon Quest box here, or Dragon Warrior, so aptly named in the US, and I've got this full color, awesome map. That is just, I mean, they used to put pins in games. They used to give you cloth maps. They used to give you all this shit just to say thank you. Like, just to say, like, please, subscribe to our product, pretty much. Please come back and be interested in what more we have to give you. And now...
Well, now it's $20 extra payment to get something like that.
I mean, even if they did something like, it's not much, but I really appreciate Nintendo's, the Club Nintendo rewards. You don't get much for your dollar, obviously, but I mean, you've already bought a game, so you're getting more than what you expected to pay for anyways. But, like, why don't companies do more of that stuff? Where you buy a game and you put up a review and they reward you with that. Like, get some limited edition swag that you're not going to get anywhere else. And yeah, it might be only a pin or a patch for your backpack or some stupid shit like that. But it's, that's like saying, getting a get well card is stupid, or getting a happy birthday card is stupid. It's the thought that counts. And it's like, just because you're a big company doesn't mean you don't have to put thought into how you treat people.
Right.
And, how you kind of, game consumers, just how you treat them in general. I'm not saying
people eat it up. People eat it up because it's free.
Yeah. It's free, it's limited edition. It's a piece of that world that you can carry around with you, should you want to.
Yeah.
That's why I like my little DIY projects and stuff like that, because I do a lot of little things. Like, I just, okay, spoiler alert. I just made the other week a working flux capacitor belt buckle.
Oh God, that is awesome.
And you're gonna have a lightsaber?
Yeah, it's
so unfair.
Geek shit, man. But I have like 12 lightsabers. They get really addicting to make once you start making them, but it's just geek stuff like that. I mean, I like making it because it's an experience that I had that I enjoyed, and it's atmosphere, man. I guess that's what it's all, life is all about, atmosphere when you really look at it. It's set and setting and the experience that you have in that. And if you can carry something around with you or hang something on your wall or whatever that brings your mind more into that state of being where you enjoy that experience, even more, hell yeah. And if it's free, hell yeah, So I wish they did stuff like that still. They still do, but I don't know. It's just not. It isn't like it was.
Yeah, it seems much more limited.
Yeah.
Wow, that DLC went longer than I thought.
I need to put myself in here. So.
All right, I guess, Crow, did you want to finish up your list then?
Sure, I got a few more here. Okay, I'll just go down real quick. I guess, well, I've got this written on the top of the paper since it was sorry, but I hated it. So this is stuff just so you guys understand, and the viewers or listeners out there understand, this is stuff that I'm sorry that I hate. Well, maybe some of them I'm not so sorry, but first one, I'm really sorry I hated this, but I did. G.I. Joe, the cartoon series. Did not get down with that when I was a kid, man. I think that was one of those, like, antisocial things where, like, all my friends were playing it, and I was way more into Ghostbusters, so that's where that went. I did not enjoy... I have yet to find a Lord of the Rings game that I enjoy. I haven't played Lord of the Rings online yet, but the rest of them, not so much. I did not like those. They just kind of cheapened the universe for me. City Connection on the Nintendo, regular NES. It's not a bad game. Playing it now, it's a lot easier, but, like, back when I was a kid, I thought that there was, like, supposed to be another point to the game, and, like, you were supposed to maybe go somewhere in the car. You guys know City Connection at all?
No, I don't.
No.
Oh, it's literally, like, it's a never-ending screen where you're in a car that kind of looks like the Gadget Mobile.
Okay.
And, you're driving on platforms and trying to avoid other cars, and I believe you, like, pick up fuel or something like that. I forget. It's been, like, 20 years since I played it, but yeah, you basically just drive from platform to platform. It's like a platforming driving game, but it's just four parallel platforms, that just, they have breaks in them. It's the most monotonous, repetitive platforming game you've ever seen. Didn't like that. Didn't like the SimCity series, as strange as that is. I just never got down with that. I am not sorry I hate this one. Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2.
The cover
Man,
of the actual
fuck
game.
that game. The whole thing. Everything. Bobco, I'm glad you got hit in the face by a bird.
Oh.
Oh my god, dude. That game is so... I think that's probably the hardest game I own, in all honesty. Maybe it's just my mentality, but, like, the developers were sitting at a table thinking, like, let's make a game where nothing happens but shit flies at you. Like, just all the time. Like, you want to jump? No, there's shit flying at you. You want to do this? No, there's shit flying at you. Like, yeah.
You're right.
So
it's too bad because the first game was awesome.
Yeah. And that's the other reason is because it's like, the first game's awesome and it's like, this is back in the day where sequels were cool. Like, Ghostbusters 2 came out, and I was like, oh, man, Ghostbusters 2! Like, everything 2 or 3, Back to the Future Part 2 was freaking amazing. And sequels were, I guess when I was a kid, sequels were, they seemed a lot better than they really were. But even still, it was like, bigger, better. And an Iron Sword comes out, and it's just like, this isn't a sequel. This is like, what the hell is this? Yeah, so that one. And, Yoshi. I didn't like that one because I thought it was going to be like a platforming game.
Oh yeah,
Yoshi.
I remember that.
Such a disappointment when I rented that when I was a kid. Counterforce on the Wii, did not like that one. It's kind of a budget game, and I mean it's interesting, but it gets really boring really quick. And let's see, last two here, Yonoid.
God. Oh man,
that game sucks.
I have an interesting reason for hating that game. It's not because the game is terrible or because the controls suck or anything like that. It's because the character, Yonoid, fucking terrifies me.
He's scary.
Oh my
gave
God.
me nightmares as a kid.
No, yeah. I've in recent years had dreams about the Yonoid attacking me. It's a reoccurring fucking nightmare, dude. That thing creeps the shit out of me. Like, if somebody brought a Yonoid doll into the room or something like that, I'd probably scream like a little girl and run. Like, it just scares me. And then my last, sorry, but I hated it. And I love this game with a passion now, and that's why it's my last one. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy Text Adventure. You guys ever played that?
No.
No, I've read the book and listened to the terrible BBC radio thing, but never played any of the game of it.
I love the radio. I fall asleep to that stuff.
Really?
Well, actually, if you're interested, if your viewers are interested as well, you can go to the BBC website and you will find a free flash version of the Hitchhiker's Guide text adventure, complete, free to play. It even has a few skins, like fan designed skins, so you can play it and make it look different ways and stuff like that. It's just kind of a cool fanfare experience. It is straight up text though, so it's, the skins or whatever kind of will give you like an image. It'll say like, you find yourself in a dark area or whatever, and you light it up, and then it'll show you what the room looks like around you. So it leaves a little less for imagination in modern times. Back in the day, I played it on a Mac Plus. That's when you had to load 2 discs, one for the operating system and then one for the game. And it was just a black screen, and you would type and basically figure out your surroundings and whatnot by, just what the computer tells you. Kind of like you find yourself in a dark room. You feel, I forget how the beginning of the game goes, but you're Arthur Dent. You wake up in your house. It's black. You have to figure out to turn the light on, but the game doesn't tell you that. So if you just try walking out of the room or whatever, you'll stumble around until a bulldozer comes in and kills you pretty much. And then the game's over and you got to start over again. And it's brutal. It's a pretty long game, and you have to execute it not absolutely perfectly, but you have about a 5-move margin of error. So every time you type in, a phrase or whatever, that's considered a move. So if within 5 moves you don't figure out what you're supposed to do, something's going to come and kill you. And I hated it because it was so fucking long and it's just like, grab the towel. You cannot grab the towel. Why? It's like, I know I need that towel to survive, and now I have 4 moves left to figure out how the hell to get it. And every time I'd make it a little further, and there's this one point in the game where the AI literally goes through your inventory, and if you are missing a single item, it requires that you have that item for you to continue the game. So it's like, you need a specific type of item to turn on this machine, and it's like, oh, okay, well, let's go through my inventory. What do I need? I have everything but a towel. And I actually remember this because my friend and I stayed up for like 9 hours one night playing this game, got to this point, we didn't have our towel, which is a serious mistake for a hitchhiker in the galaxy. Always bring a towel. It's the most important piece of gear you can have. And got to that point, and it was just like, sorry, you do not have a towel. And we just stared blankly at the screen. It was one of those moments where you're like, the towel! It was horrible. Oh my god. But it took me years. I did learn the game, and I finally beat it. And now it is one of my favorite games just because it's like one of those stupid talents that you have that will never be useful in the real world, like contact juggling or hacky sacking or something like that. But it's just something cool that you can show people, like, yeah, I can beat this game. Like, yeah, I can beat the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy text adventure, which probably makes me more of a loser than anything. It is my most loved, hated game. We'll say that.
That's awesome.
It's all good. Let's see. I don't really have too much. Let's see. I don't really care for The Illusion of Gaia.
Yeah, you brought that up before.
I can see that.
Yeah, I rented that as a kid, and I remember having friends that really enjoyed it, but I could never get past that puzzle, the Aztec puzzle, where you're trying to get the statues to get onto the 4 different switches.
Where you pulled it with the flute?
Right, I think so. It's been, I honestly don't think I've played it past there. I stopped playing it as a kid and never went back to it. And, I just seen, there was a separate save file that had the final boss, so I went and just played that and beat it. And was like, okay, fuck this, I'm done. So I don't really care for The Illusion of Gaia. Love Terranigma, and, Soul Blazer isn't too bad, but, Illusion of Gaia, nah, thanks.
Terranigma's awesome, man. It sucks it's so expensive.
Yeah, it is really expensive, and it's such a great game, and it's really, when you beat it, the ending. That's another one of those games that has a really, really good ending, I would say.
I don't think I beat it.
After you beat it, there's some things that you have to do still, so it's still playable, and there's things that you have to do, and the music's really emotional and stuff, so it's really, really good. I really hate how in newer games they give you that tutorial bullshit. It's like, learn how to jump, or this is how you grapple the walls, and all this kind of shit, and it's just really bad game progression, and you're spending time doing this, and then you don't go back, or you don't need this sort of fucking skill until about like 6 hours later. And you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? And you're like, oh, that's right, the tutorial. That I spent 5 minutes doing instead of being constantly reinforced with it. So yeah, that, and I don't want to say I hate it, so I don't know if I want to put it on the list, but I really am not a big fan of Morrowind or Oblivion.
Okay.
I've
never played them.
I tried playing both of them, and they don't, like, that style of game doesn't really work for me. I'm not a big fan of games that use the Western kind of fantastical realm that it seems to get regurgitated a lot of the times with dragons, elves, orcs, and that sort of thing. The high fantasy, the Lord of the Rings, the Worm Ouroboros kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, because I read The Lord of the Rings as a kid, and I would go out and play in my woods, the woods that was near where I lived and stuff, and I would imagine this sort of thing. And so, trying to play it in a game, it pales in comparison to what I imagined as a kid. So I get really disinterested in it and stuff. So yeah. I've never really kind of understood it, and unfortunately, I can't really come to appreciate it as a lot of people do. So. Those were the last two that I kind of had there, so.
So we did it!
Yeah,
wow.
We did it! Parody!
Got it all off our chest. Feels good.
So.
I feel uplifted. I'm free. I'm finally free of those chains. Until all those bad comments come in of, you guys suck!
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was just... Smithers, release the hounds.
Yeah. Release the hounds with bees in their mouths.
Oh god. So did you want to attempt a game here, or?
I would love to try to do a game. Are you up for a game, Crow?
Sure.
Yeah, we don't know what the title of the game is. We randomly choose it, so.
I've got the bag here. You can just hear it, kind of, my cheap plastic bag.
I totally think he's making this up, Crow, so if he wins.
Hang on a second, I'm just pulling up Wikipedia here.
It can be difficult, so don't feel bad if, like, after a few rounds, you're kind of like, I don't know what to...
Yeah.
Because this game can be really difficult.
We all get stumped. That's kind of the point, though.
Your last one, I was yelling them out right with you guys. I was like, come on! What was it, the last one you guys posted was like the games that start with a B?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
That's, yeah.
Oh man, I was livid. Good stuff though, man. If you got me like yelling at the screen like it's a person,
well,
interactive entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what kind of we like about the game, is that it gets other people thinking, and that they can kind of, come up with their own, and things that we would never even thought of or something. And it's just kind of like, and then after the game, you'll spend the next 10, 20 minutes going, son of a bitch, this was what it was.
Yeah.
That's when you're in the bathroom taking a pee and you're like, oh, damn it.
So it's definitely good. So what is our...
Alright, I've got the number. I have not looked at the number yet. So the number we've got here is number 5. So number 5 is, oh god, this is hard.
That's like shit.
Games with quick time events or rhythm. God, this is gonna be hard. So any game that has a quick time event or rhythm in it.
That changed my mind. I don't want to do this no more. Fucking rhythm game. Oh man. I didn't even think about that. Number. Okay. No, it's cool. It's cool. Don't want to damage the integrity of the game.
Well, if it helps, you will go first, so at least you'll get through one round, right?
Yeah, right. So, I guess, are we going with...
Now with rhythm, I think you can do kind of music games, like anything like that.
Yeah, so that's... But
so that'll kind of broaden it a little more.
But you can only pick one
from a series.
One series.
Okay, I'm gonna start with the really obscure one that you probably wouldn't think of, hopefully. The rhythm games where you're dancing in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Okay.
Alright, good. Sushi to you since I won the last one.
Oh, so it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, I will go with Rock Band.
Okay, alright. I will go with Poppin' Music, the 9-button sensation.
Ooh.
How about the Bit Trip series?
Sure.
Okay.
That weird Final Fantasy 3DS musical rhythm game. I don't know the name.
That's not even out that yet, though.
But it exists.
Oh. Okay. Is Jet Grind Radio, is that a rhythm game?
There's sort of a rhythm aspect. I'll give it to you.
Well, if you don't want to, that's fine, because...
There's sort of a rhythm aspect to it, where you're moving the controller in a certain way to spray paint on the wall. I'll give it to you.
Yes!
It's better played in a rhythmical fashion.
Yes.
Alright, so, over to you, Retro.
Oh, DDR.
Nice.
God of War.
Oh, okay. Gitaru Man. I don't know.
Would Rez count?
Sure, I'll accept Rez.
Yeah, because it's, you have musical, yeah.
Okay.
Donkey Konga.
No, okay, alright. Resident Evil 4. Oh,
Nice.
quick time events.
Did you guys say Guitar Hero already?
No.
We did not.
Alright, Guitar Hero.
Takaro Drum Master.
Takaro Drum Master.
That game with the giant drums that you hit.
Taiko?
Sorry, Taiko, sorry.
Okay, alright, okay. 2DX. The DJ with the 7 key, I think it's 7 keys.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh,
do
what's, dude, I'm really not good at this. Okay, QuickTime games too. Oh, fucking Dance Central.
Okay. DJ Max.
Pump it up!
DJ Hero.
I forgot about DJ Hero. Shenmue.
Oh, okay. Fuck. Trying to go through here. Oh, Guitar Freaks.
Good one.
Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Percussion Freaks.
Percussion Freaks.
The drumming version of Guitar Freaks, basically.
But that's not called...
It's called Percussion Freaks.
It's called Drummania.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's Percussion Freaks then? Is it?
I've never heard of Percussion Freaks.
I could have swore that was a game.
No. I'll give it to you.
Okay, don't give it to me. I will say Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Why don't you just say Drummania then? I just gave you that one.
That's fine. You say Drummania.
Drummania.
Man. I'm running out of ideas here. The Shadow of the Colossus.
Vanquish.
Oh god. Shit. Technically, I will say the last story, because technically with you can either say yes or no to this. You have to use the lens to match up with certain things that you're looking at. Would you count that? Or is that a no?
That
No.
doesn't sound like rhythm.
Well, it's the quick time kind of thing, because you gotta, go over to the thing. Alright, fine.
Are you mashing buttons in a quick time?
No! But you're looking for things. Might be stocked out of ideas. No. Yeah, I don't think I have really anything. I will tap out.
Alright. Over to you, Crow.
Wii Fit.
Samba de Amigo.
Spent all my brain power thinking of Wii Fit there. Oh man. I want to topple you, Sushi.
You can do it.
I don't think I can. Let's see. Shit. I'm desperately scanning my game log for anything. Did Resident Evil 4 have QuickTime events?
Yes,
but
I already said it.
Oh, you.
I got one for you.
What about Ratchet and Clank?
Did it have QTEs?
I
don't recall.
I'm trying to think of the boss battles.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Shit, I got one. Wii Music.
Okay. Yakuza. There's a karaoke game that has rhythm.
Let's see here.
Time limit!
Yeah, I'm about to say... Wait.
I accept that one. I accept that answer.
It's a zombie Guitar Hero style game.
I know which one you're talking about. What's that
Rock of the
called?
Dead, something?
Yeah,
Rock of the Dead. Okay. Does that count since I got
Sure.
help?
I'll accept that. How about Typing of the Dead? Too much of a stretch?
How would you?
Well, you kind of got to, because the zombies are coming at you, and you got to type all the words out kind of in a rhythm.
Not like
No?
a rhythm, though. You're just
Okay.
you're
Mad
just
World.
like,
Mad World.
Oh, yeah. No More Heroes?
Sonic Chronicles.
Sonic games. Sonic Heroes?
Sonic Heroes had that?
but that
I'm
would be a
trying to
Sonic
think.
game. It would have to
Yeah.
be.
Oh yeah, I guess I already said Sonic, so.
Yeah, okay. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
Patapon?
What is that?
Patapon on the PSP, it's all of your attacks are all in rhythm.
Oh.
It's like the Shadows or something like that. Didn't you say?
Yeah, they're all like little black characters with one eye, and they walk around, and you have to push all the buttons in a sequence to make them move, or to make them attack, or to make them defend. It's a pretty famous PSP game.
Right on. I just had one and now I lost it. I haven't played this one. Did the new Ghostbusters have any?
I haven't played it. I'm not sure.
Okay. I think I'm gonna tap out, man. I can't think of anything
Alright,
else.
I guess
A couple
one more
you
though,
could
right?
have.
Lost Odyssey. They've kind of got
How does that? What? How?
in the battle system where you have to do that attack in the rhythm of that.
Well, it's not a rhythm though. It's just a.
All right,
you
Shadow
just-
Hearts.
There
have
you go,
to set Ring of Judgment.
But it's not rhythm though. It's just a.
Kind of, not exactly, but
Right. It's
it's
just
kind
a,
of QTE more, I guess, than rhythm.
Ooh.
It's something you could have said for rhythm is technically like Zelda.
I guess, yeah.
With the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kinda.
kind of,
Oh, yeah.
kind of.
Keyboard Mania. That was another one that came to mind.
Oh, man,
Percussion
and,
Freaks exists.
Universal, I just played this game the other week, Universal Studios for the PS2. Yeah. Oh, well.
Oh well.
Wow, that went a lot better though than it sounded like we were gonna. We were like, oh god, this is gonna be shit. We got pretty far.
Yeah, my brain hurts after that.
Taylor, Drum Mania is Percussion Freaks. It's the same game.
Oh, okay.
It has two names.
Who calls it I've never heard it called.
I think it's called that in the States.
Oh,
Maybe that's where I saw the name.
maybe. Because I just know it as Drum Mania. I've never heard it called Percussion Freaks.
I don't know, I typed in Percussion Freaks on Wikipedia and it came up as Drum Mania, so.
Huh. Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, so.
Huh. Okay.
That was
I mean,
awesome, man. We got far. I'm impressed. There's probably
Yeah,
a lot more we're missing. And
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we didn't do a lot of
Yeah,
the
most
QTEs, actually. We did a lot of the...
Oh, I don't
Really?
really know very many of the QTEs. So.
It's
Oh,
hard, man,
Dragon's
like,
Lair.
especially...
Damn it, Dragon's Lair.
Oh! Yeah!
We suck so bad. Dragon's
Dude,
Lair.
I've never
I
played
just-
that. Okay.
I just got that for the Wii maybe about 2 months ago.
Man.
I got that from, I actually got it from the guys that I've done music for. I'm trying to get back in the door for them, but it's Destineer Games. They do Wii games.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, I just basically was looking on eBay. I noticed that it was on the Wii. And I guess this is kind of a tip if anybody's out there trying to find some hard to find games. It's always worth a shot. But I was on eBay looking for this thing, found out it was on the Wii, and it was going for a chunk of money. I don't know how much it's going for now because I haven't really checked, but it was more than I was expecting for, because Destineer is kind of a budget company or whatever. They release budget titles and stuff. And, yeah, it's going for a good chunk. And, so I just called up Destineer and said, can I get a copy of this game? And they were like, yeah. I said, I'm the dude who did the music on, Triple Crown Snowboarding. And they're like, oh, okay. And yeah, so I bought a game straight from them for $20. So
Nice.
yeah.
Go to the source, I guess, if you can.
Yeah, if you can, if you happen to have a video game developer living a few miles away from you. But,
Call up the big ones.
Yeah.
Or go knocking on their door.
Yeah. Hey, is this EA?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at Walmart today and I couldn't find Modern Warfare 3, so.
So hoping you could hook a brother up.
Yeah. Could you just send me one?
You just
That'd
see
be
EA's. EA's probably got cubicles made out of old crappy sports games from the Genesis or something. It's probably like NHL 98 just like shaped into cubicles for people to sit at.
That was one of my ideas as a DIY project, was to make a coffee table out of old sports games.
That'd be awesome.
And it would be. I just don't have enough of them.
You can buy them pretty
You know what's
bulk
gonna
usually.
What's going to happen is you guys are all going to tear up all those sports games, and then they're going to be rare, and then they're going to be worth something.
Maybe.
I am kind of trying to think ahead now and trying to get some of the ones that I would normally toss away, especially things that I haven't seen before, because you are right. There is going to come a point in about 15, 20 years where these are going to probably be some of the rarest games out there.
Because everybody's destroying them.
Yeah.
So,
I like the old sports games though, because just the teams with the players that's on certain teams and stuff. I like the nostalgia of that.
Like Tecmo Super Bowl.
Well,
Oh
like
my
the old
God, dude.
NHL games and stuff too.
Yeah, totally. I remember the scoop and shoot is what we used to call it. Scoop around the goalie and then shoot
Oh
it
yeah,
in.
that was
Like,
NHL
every
93,
time,
and
man.
the goalie would slide across the screen.
Yeah.
And 94 brought in the deke and the one-timer. Like you could do the double deke really easily on 94.
I don't know if I remember. I remember, wasn't it like 96 or 97? You could fight finally?
Yeah, they brought back fighting in 97. 93 had fighting, and then they took it out and brought it back in 97.
Right on. It's too violent.
Yeah, it was too violent. Yeah, that's it.
And then, you see? They brought that fighting shit back in the hockey games, and then Columbine happened, and
No,
that's right there, man. Violence in video games.
it had nothing to do with games like Doom or Halo or
No.
People hating on people.
yeah,
Games where you're walking through a corridor with a gun shooting. No.
shooting hundreds of men at once.
Not at all.
That, I guess just very briefly on that, parents, watch your kids, take an interest in what they're doing, and maybe they won't do shit like that. Like, there's obviously people who have problems, but people who blame it on video games, like, who bought that game for that kid?
Yeah,
or who
really.
didn't pay attention to the game that their kid was buying? It's, I'm not a parent myself. I teach kids on a day-to-day basis and stuff, but I can't claim that that's similar to it. But God damn it, parents, watch your kids and stop blaming entertainment for you not taking an interest in what your kid is doing. Sorry.
Just a friendly message from 3 teachers on this
Bullshit.
podcast.
Seriously, that is really a good point. Invest time into your kids, not just point the finger at everything else.
Like, your kids can play games, that's cool, but play games with your kids. I mean, is what you're doing that important that you can't take time to enjoy? They're not going to be kids forever. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have podcasts and they're going to be saying shit and fuck and talking about rhythm games.
Shake
and
their
then you
head.
can't control them.
Building lightsabers to kill people.
Yeah.
Flux
And then what do
capacitor
you
light.
yeah, good times.
So, Crow, could you just, to wrap things up here, want to kind of re-plug yourself?
Yeah, your viewers can find me at youtube.com/Retro Roadshow. It's like Antique Roadshow, but with retro in it. And, I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/Retro Roadshow Crow. And, if they want to check out any of the music that I've made for games or anything like that, or just any of the music that I make in general, I've got 2 bands. One is called Niobium. That's the music that was in the snowboarding game on the Wii. And, you can find Niobium pretty much anywhere. Like, we're on, Reverb Nation, iTunes, CD Baby, all that stuff. And I got another band, Sumerian. And that should be coming up here soon. We're still in the studio and stuff like that, so there's not really much to tell, but yeah, keeping busy and, definitely stop by the channel if you are looking for a rad time with, a rad dude stuck in the 90s, traversing the time streams, just finding, some most excellent items from the past and having fun with them.
Cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah, thank you, Crow. It was very enjoyable, for me, lay down and chat with you. I can't really sit properly, so
True.
I keep my foot elevated. So it is definitely thank you for taking the time to join us.
Really, really
Yeah,
appreciate
most
it.
definitely.
Yeah, so
I've been listening to the podcast since episode 1, so I'm a fan from way back in the day, you know,
Yeah.
back in the old days, but
2 weeks ago,
yeah.
when we just started.
Back when you actually pushed the power on button.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely an honor to be here. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the show, and hell, if you guys want to do it again anytime, let me know. I am down like a killer clown from outer space.
Most definitely.
Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Yes. Oh God.
But yeah, Sushi, is there anything you want to add there, or?
No, just stay tuned for the next episode whenever we get around to putting it up.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. So thanks for listening, guys, and have a good day.
Later.
What do you guys think for time right now? Still okay, or?
I'm going to be going and running a marathon here in like 5 minutes. So.
Oh, really? One-footed, hey?
One-footed with crutches.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, should be.
What do you win? Do you win a lightsaber?
Applause. That's what I win.
You need to borrow that flux capacitor belt so that you can go back in time and fix your foot.
And slap myself and be like, no.
Yeah.
Don't
But knock yourself out just seconds before it happens.
with a blow dart?
From the bushes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I can't let myself see myself.
Yeah.